But really, that defensive ranking was achieved with different personnel at the cornerback position. The New Orleans Saints are in trouble in their secondary, and they're not helped at all by the fact that the Atlanta Falcons today will play mostly in that 4 wide receiver set. Virtually every healthy DB for the Saints is going to have to play today, and if by chance they have any injuries during the course of the game, it's going to be tough for New Orleans to adjust. Where does the pressure come from then? It better come from Pat Swilling and Ricky Jackson, the 2 outside pass rushers. If they don't meet at Chris Miller today, if they don't get there often, I'm afraid there's too much pressure might be put on the New Orleans secondary.
Bobby Hebert loosening up for the New Orleans Saints. Those last 2 games against the Raiders and against Phoenix, those numbers. The 300-yard plus night he had against the Raiders was only the second 300-yard game of his 6-year NFL career. Jim Mora, he is the only coach who has ever guided the Saints to a winning season. He is the only coach who has ever guided the Saints into the playoffs. This is the 3rd playoff game in the history of the New Orleans Saints. They've yet to win. They lost to Minnesota here in '87. They lost to the Bears in Chicago last year. Norm Johnson, the longtime Seattle Seahawk who lost his job to John Casey in preseason and then was picked up by Atlanta, and he's had a great year. Kicks off for the Falcons. And back deep, Fred McAfee, the rookie, the man in the middle. And the kick is taken by McAfee from the 9 back to the 22-yard line. Saints begin at the 22-yard line with Bobby Hebert. Born in the area, went to school in the area, raised and makes his home here, and has become once again a popular man. Finnerty starts, so we will see a lot of the rookie McAfee and also Hilliard. Jordan, the blocking back. Martin and Early outside. Brenner is the tight end. And the guys up front, including Stan Brock, in his 12th season. So he has been through the thick and the thin, mainly the thin. But here he is in the playoffs. 1st and 10 at the 22-yard line. Hebert throws, and the pass is incomplete, intended for Hobie Brenner. Over the middle, he was blanketed by the outside linebacker, Robert Lyles. Now the Atlanta defense, and they gamble a lot. Brian, Mo Gardner, the Illinois rookie, has done a nice job at nose tackle, and Tim Green is undersized at right end. Lyles, Rady, Tuggle is a man to watch, and Darian Connor on the outside. The great corners, McKyer and Sanders. Jordan is the strong safety, and the veteran Scott Case, the free safety. They love to blitz. They love to send the secondary. 2nd down and 10 from the 22. McAfee, a 6th-round draft choice out of Mississippi College. And that's not Ole Miss. Mississippi College, a small school, tackled by Tim Green. It'll be 3rd and 9.
New Orleans opening with 2 tight ends, trying to run the ball, control the game. Obviously, they'd like to do that, going against the defense of the Atlanta Falcons that was ranked 24th overall in the National Football League and 23rd against the rush. They'd like to run the football, but Atlanta very firm in this opening series, very solid.
4 wideouts, 3rd down and 9 at the 22-yard line. Hebert with the play clock down to 5. And they give it to the up back. It's a fumble by Hilliard, who picks it back up and then is swarmed under. Unusual looking play. Hilliard lined up right next to Hebert, in effect, taking the handoff, fumbling it, recovering it, but the Saints are stopped and they're forced to kick.
You know, I think, Dan, that's a good play if you get the blitz. And they were anticipating the blitz from Atlanta. They didn't get it. That's a big play. If you get the blitz, it didn't work.
Yeah, Hilliard walked up close to the line of scrimmage to put himself in a position to block for that blitz. And I wonder if Hebert knew he had moved up that far. That might have been the problem. Bobby Hebert might not have known that Dalton Hilliard came in and was only about a yard away from it.
Tommy Barnhart to do the punting. Sanders to receive it at the 40. There's a flag down, and Barnhart got buried. Sanders brings it back to the 47, but we're going to probably have a roughing call. Tracy Johnson Number 43 ran into Barnhart. And that's the signal from Howard Rowe, the referee.
Johnson comes right up the middle.
Well, they blocked 7 kicks this year, and they really go for it. Special teams means a lot to Jerry Glanville.
Tracy Johnson, there he is right in the middle of your screen, number 43.
Roughing the kicker, 15-yard penalty.
It's a clean miss, and he buries Barnhart, and that is a very good call by the official. The punter is so vulnerable in that position. Actually, Barnhart quite lucky he had his left leg up in the air, or he would have really gotten his knee caved in. But so typical of the way the Falcons play football. It is all out every play. Oftentimes good, sometimes bad. Look at that. 3 punts, 2 field goals, 2 extra points. It was almost 8, but this is what happens. Almost results in a Saints first down.
1st and 10, New Orleans at the 37. Just the start of things in the Superdome. With Tice in motion. The fake to McAfee. Hebert, after buying time, goes deep and incomplete because McKyer was right there on Quinn Early. Had him totally blanketed.
We talked about these 2 corners. Tim McKyer, who of course came from Miami in a trade this past season, number 22. You've heard a lot about him. They locked him up man on man all the time. And here he comes. He's locked up tight on Early Quinn. And he is looking right back at the quarterback. He has good acceleration. Once that ball is in the air and released, forget it, he is going to be on the man. And this is what New Orleans is going to have to be concerned with, because these 2 guys are deadly on the corners. Both of them have 6 interceptions, and they're great return men when they pick it off.
2nd and 10 at the 37-yard line. Early in motion. Again, the fake to McAfee, and then he dumps it off for Jordan, who makes a juggling catch. He makes the catch before stepping out of bounds at the 42-yard line. It's a gain of about 5. Scott Case on the coverage.
That time Bobby Hebert got some good protection up front. There was a blitz, and it was picked up. But Jordan made it exciting to see the blitz pick up in the middle, and it's not often you'll see a running back who botches the first catch that badly and then is still able to maintain his concentration and pick it up.
It'll be 3rd down and 5, and since the umpire comes in and blows the whistle, you know what that means. That means they're going to review it upstairs.
Question will be whether or not Jordan had control of the ball before he went out of bounds. The process of juggling the ball he did ate up a lot of yardage. Let's get a look at it. Kenny Wolf, our producer, Craig Janoff, our director. Let's bring it up, guys.
On the field is a completion. Play is under review.
All right, let's take a look at it if we could. This ought to give us the best angle from behind the play. Now, where does he have possession? Obviously not there. He does have it there. Let's see the right. There's the left down. Oh, and he drags the right. An excellent job there by Buford Jordan. That's a legitimate catch.
Not only, Dan, did he have the poise to catch the ball on the second bobble, he had enough concentration and poise to get the other foot down. You see it drag inbounds, and that'll be a completion.
Play stands is called on the field. Completed pass. Brings up 3rd down.
Much to Mr. Glanville's chagrin, it is ruled as it was on the field, a catch, and justifiably so.
3rd and 5, Saints at their own 42. This drive kept alive on a roughing the kicker penalty. 12:42 left in the first quarter.
6 defensive backs for Atlanta now on the 3rd and should pass down, 3rd and 5.
You know, this is no surprise that New Orleans is throwing the ball, least of all to Jerry Glanville. He told us yesterday that he was sure that the Saints were going to come after them by throwing the ball. And another whistle.
We talked about Jesse Tuggle, the linebacker that would play a major role today, and Jerry Glanville says he's about the best I've ever seen. That's a big statement, but he stands by it. And there he is. He never leaves the field. He stays in the prevent defense. He's in there in the nickel and the dime, and he's in there right now with 6 DBs.
Whistle, I believe, is to reset the play clock.
Game clock should read 12:45.
And the game clock as well, 12:45.
Real play clock should read 17 seconds.
And 3rd and 5 when we resume play as the Saints come up with 4 wide receivers. 3 to the left. He wants that clock to read 17. And apparently they can't set it from 35 to 17 without counting it down.
I know. You got to do it right.
Yeah.
But the Saints are on the ball. They'll snap once the whistle blows and the referee tells them to start. They'll snap the ball within 5 seconds. And Bobby Hebert obviously impatient.
And the Falcons have had a long look at this formation.
And New Orleans has had a long look at that defense.
3rd and 5. That's Martin in motion. Hebert from the gun throws an out pattern. It is caught by Martin, and Martin has a first down.
Well, Martin is the control man. Hebert has looked at this defense. They played each other twice before. He has seen it. He knew where he could put the ball to his control man, the underneath man, Eric Martin, the leading receiver, and Martin just does squeak the first down, takes it away from Bobby Butler.
Martin caught 66 passes during the regular season. Floyd Turner caught 64. Tice in motion and then sets in the slot to the right. First down from the 47-yard line. Quinn early in motion to the left and a little toss to the rookie McAfee. And he is met and pushed back from the line of scrimmage. Brian Jordan makes the initial hit, and Jerry Glanville loves to talk about getting a lot of hats on the ball. It means a lot of tacklers, and you'll see that a lot from the Atlanta Falcons.
And I'm not sure that Brian Jordan needed a lot of help. That was just a fine open field tackle by this dual sport guy. Brian Jordan, a baseball player in the St. Louis Cardinals baseball organization, was all the way up to the AAA level, wasn't he, Al?
Played in Louisville last year.
Watch this tackle, though. Jordan's going to come in from the right, and look at him get the shoulder down. And boy, that's a good tackle on McAfee. And the Falcons, a lot of two-way people.
Dalton Hilliard is the sole running back in this set. On 2nd and 11, over the middle, a nice catch is made by Quinn Early, a first down at the Atlanta 40. He is tackled by Bobby Butler.
Again, the blitz was on. The Falcons gambling, and watch at the top of your screen. And McKyer is working on Early, and Early beat McKyer just as we watched Michael Irving of the Dallas Cowboys do it a week ago. McKyer is the man you want to go against if you get a man-for-man situation, and it pays off early for the Saints.
First down at the 40-yard line, 10:35 remaining in a scoreless first quarter. Hebert escaping pressure, throws, the catch is made at the 28-yard line by Eric Martin. Another first down.
You heard my colleagues talking about Eric Martin, a number of catches. He led the team. He's led this team for 5 consecutive years, and it's catches like that that make you do it over time. Not a blazingly fast guy. He's not going to run by anybody if they're trying to keep him from running by, but just nice hands and good precise routes by Eric Martin.
Good work by Hebert, too. That really is not his strong suit, rolling out and throwing the football, but he got it right in there about the only place it could be caught.
First and 10 at the 28-yard line. McAfee, and he is hit immediately by Jesse Tuggle after a minimal gain. We mentioned at the top, the Falcons like to live on the edge, and because they live on the edge, they haven't had the ball yet. Remember, they stopped New Orleans 3 and out, but then the roughing the kicker penalty, and that's what happens when you live on the edge. A lot of penalties, and New Orleans tries to capitalize on it.
Here's a guy that's disappointed about not being picked to the Pro Bowl this year. Jesse Tuggle, by far and away the leading tackler of the Atlanta Falcons, and that was just a nice read. Slid right into the hole, stayed with it, wrapped up, and brought the guy down by himself.
2nd and 8 from the 26-yard line. 6 minutes into the game, no score. Hebert stepping up again. Over the middle, wide open, touchdown, Turner.
Oh, Dion. Dion let Turner go, and he was wide open, and Bobby Hebert, he has great presence. We saw him a couple of weeks ago after being out for 6 or 8 weeks. Come on, and just looked like he'd been there forever. Now watch this, top of your screen. There Dion starts to take him in. He looks like he thinks he's going to get help. lets him go, and he just pulls up at the goal line. Floyd Turner, easy touchdown.
Well,
again, they gamble a lot, and they make a lot of mistakes.
Sanders is playing zone. I mean, Sanders was playing his outside third of the field. He pointed over into the middle to yell to whoever was supposed to be there.
There was no one there.
But here he comes. I mean, it was obvious that Deion Sanders was playing a zone coverage all the way. And I don't want to overstate my own athletic prowess, but I think I could have thrown a touchdown pass there.
You might have even caught it.
Turner was wide open for a TD.
We asked California artist Ed Lister to give us his impressions of the all-new 1992 Buick Skylark, to capture the lyrical lines, the liquid flow, the dash of flair, and above all, the quality that makes this the Buick of its class. Did he capture Skylark? Decide for yourself. But one thing's for certain. Skylark is the Buick that will change a lot of impressions about Buick.
Old Spice. It puts the wind in your sails.
Light. It is magical, powerful, essential. At GTE, we place that power at the touch of your hand. The power to open any darkness. To illuminate the facts of science. Brighten the arenas of sports and business. Create the warm glow that means home. At GTE, we give you the power of Sylvania light in 6,000 ways. None of them small. At GTE, the power is on.
Big start for the Saints. The drive kept alive by the roughing the kicker penalty. And a good matchup here. Morton Anderson, who booms more than half his kickoffs into the end zone for touchbacks, against Deion Sanders, who has run a kickoff back for a touchdown this season.
If it comes to an open field tackle, though, I'll take the guy on the left.
The thing about the Saints is, though, if they don't get the touchback from Anderson, they are the worst in the league at kickoff coverage.
And this guy will test you.
Forget it.
So long.
He almost put that through the uprights.
So the Atlanta Falcons will get the football for the first time in the game at their 20. 8:51 to go in the quarter. 7-0 Saints.
With service to more cities across the Atlantic than any other U.S. airline, Delta now makes it easier than ever for the people of America to get to know the people of Europe.
Buongiorno.
Bonjour.
Sia.
Guten Tag.
Ritzy. Delta. We love to fly and it shows.
Здравствуйте.
Ever feel like you've forgotten something?
Fuel.
Maybe it's because you haven't been to McDonald's yet for your own original Indiana Jones videos. Just $5.99 each with the purchase of any large sandwich all day long. Drop into McDonald's today and get an Indy video for just $5.99 each. The best price ever with the purchase of any large sandwich any time of day. Collect all three. Just stop by McDonald's and ask for today's video.
That wasn't so bad, was it?
If you don't hurry, it could be.
Buick introduces the new supercharged Ultra for 1992. With 20% more power. 205 horsepower to be exact. Ultra truly ranks among the world's finest luxury performance sedans. The new 1992 supercharged Ultra from Buick. The new symbol for quality in America.
The excitement, the action, and the moves. From the field to the stands, the fun of the World League returns in March on ABC Sports.
the left is Vince Buck, and on the right is Toy Cook. Under more normal circumstances for the Saints, they would be the starting cornerbacks. But both are gone for the year, gone for the playoffs, and thus the Saints with a rebuilt secondary. On defense for the first time, Atlanta has it at the 20. And Miller back to throw on first down, and that's incomplete. Intended, I believe, for George Thomas. A couple of receivers in the area, including Mike Pritchard, number 35.
Now, you talked about Buck and Cook being out of the lineup. That's the bad news. The good news is that Reggie Jones started today at left cornerback. Now, he has been out for a couple of weeks with a bad shoulder, but he's in there.
Eric Pegram is a 6th-round draft choice from North Texas State. George Thomas, Pritchard, Risen, and Haynes. Haynes is the big play guy, the 4 wideouts. A very good offensive line. The 14-year veteran Penn, Hoover, Dukes, the veteran Fralick, and Chris Hinton, the one-time Colt. At the 20, second down and 10. Very noisy in the dome, as usual. And this is the rookie, Pegram. It'll be third down. He's hit by Sam Mills, number 51, who'll be going to the Pro Bowl. And let's take a look at this Saint defense. Number 2 against the run, number 2 against the pass, number 2 overall. Martin, Warren, the 2 defensive linemen with Jackson, Mills, and Swilling in a 3 linebacker set. And then when they go to the 6 DBs against this red gun, Jones, Lee, Mack, Atkins, who had 3 interceptions last week, Maxey and Glenn are the 6 DBs.
And once they get them in there, they only have 1 left over, as Dan pointed out.
Third down and 10. That's Jason Phillips in motion, number 82. Play clock down to 3. Miller going deep on 3rd and 10, and incomplete as Floyd Dixon had gotten loose in the secondary, but Miller couldn't get it to him.
Oh, boy, and we saw Atlanta blow a zone a while ago. They lost 6 points on it. That time New Orleans did the same thing. Only this time Chris Miller, a little anxious, tried to lay it up so that Dixon could take it in stride, but he was wide open for a big gain, or at least to midfield.
Falcons don't gain a yard on their first possession. Scott Fulhage to punt. Gil Fenerty back to receive for New Orleans. Fenerty calls for a fair catch at the 39-yard line. So the Saints get the ball right back. They have it with 7:46 left in the opening quarter in a wild card game in the Superdome. 7-0 Saints.
A lot of cars are taking aim at the imports these days. Well, one American car is very much on target. Buick. Here's their latest hit, the all-new 1992 Skylark. Completely redesigned with more power and advanced features like standard anti-lock brakes. Skylark for 1992. It's got everything you've been looking for, plus the one thing only Buick can offer you. Buick quality.
My dad had ulcers. So when my stomach started acting up, I was afraid to go to the doctor. But finally, I went. Was I relieved when my doctor said Mylanta? He said it was indigestion, not an ulcer. And my kind of indigestion called for a strong medicine.
Mylanta is strong medicine, strongly recommended. In fact, Mylanta is the antacid doctors recommend most.
My doctor said Mylanta.
You demand the same things from your car that you demand from your budget. Both have to go more places, last longer, and work harder than ever. So get the Walmart price on the motor oil engineered for today's smaller cars. Castrol GTX. Castrol provides maximum protection against viscosity and thermal breakdown. The Walmart price provides maximum protection against paying too much. Walmart. Always a low price. Always.
Sunday, the historic fight for freedom against the Roman Empire. Stanley Kubrick's restored classic with footage never seen on television. Spartacus, Sunday.
That's tonight's primetime lineup here on ABC. First, an all-new hour of music and laughs, Sinbad and Friends. Then the Young Riders and the Commish. Primetime tonight, Saturday night on ABC. Chris Miller, after his first series, back on the Atlanta sideline as the Saints have it at their own 39-yard line, 1st and 10. New Orleans is up 7-0. And Hebert to the air again. Hebert hits Martin. Martin with a first down before he's taken down by Jordan. And Hebert, after missing on his first 2 attempts, has completed the last 6.
Brian Jordan, the strong safety, 6'1", 205-pounder, is not the cover man you want on Eric Martin. Eric Martin with the quick feet and the good moves. Jordan perhaps is all right on a tight end, a Hobie Brenner, but not on Eric Martin. He just leaves him with a little quick break to the outside and gets first down yardage.
Jordan appeared to be intrigued, Frank, with what was going on back in the backfield. Yeah. Captivated to the point that he was trailing Martin by several yards.
Saints at the Falcon 42. Falcons, as they always do, show blitz. And they're coming on a run as McAfee takes it to the 41-yard line for a short gain. It'll be 2nd and 9. Well, for the Falcons in the NFC West, there it is. In 7 of the last 8 years, they have finished last, and then they were next to last in the 14 division in 1986. And today, they come in as the wild card, and it's the first time they've been in the playoffs since the strike-shortened 82 season.
You always hear coaches stress consistency, but that's not the type they look for.
No. 2nd and 9 at the 41-yard line. 3-man rush. Hilliard takes the pass over the middle and pays the price as he is knocked down at the 36-yard line by Tuggle and Rady.
Good job of the umpire that time getting out of the way. He almost gets hit with the football. Let's look at Tuggle, number 58. He reads it quickly, just drops into his hook zone. A quick close on Dalton Hilliard. And Jesse Tuggle, a guy who plays most of his games on Sunday afternoon to regional audiences, has been yearning for this national exposure. Looks like he's set to make the most of it.
4 wide receivers for the Saints. The Falcons better be concerned with 84 Martin.
3rd and 4 at the 36-yard line. 5:30 to go in the quarter. 7-0 New Orleans. 4-man rush. Hebert over the middle. Hits Floyd Turner. He's inside the 20 and down to the 14-yard line. Tackled by McKyer.
Hebert just locked up with Turner, the speedster. Turner had a great year, 64 receptions. Had 2 touchdowns in the first meeting in the blowaway at Atlanta by New Orleans. Here he comes, just bounces off McKyer, gets the jump on McKyer. McKyer is not even close enough to make a play on the ball.
If you're going to jam a receiver as a cornerback, you better interrupt his release a little more than McKyer did right there. That was a clean release for Turner that allowed him to get across the field.
He burned them in the regular season, did Turner, and he's burning them again in the first quarter today. 1st and 10 at the 14-yard line. Hebert, the fake, throws, and this time he hits Turner again down to the 6-yard line, a little short of the first down. He's sandwiched by Case and Sanders.
Jerry Glanville yesterday was talking to us about the characteristics of this Falcon team, and he said, I guarantee you tomorrow there'll be a couple times that we're out of it, but we always come crawling back into a game. Well, they better get with it here, or they're on the verge of being down 14-0 at the beginning, just a little over halfway through the first quarter.
And Dion, he's great coverage, but he was laying off 6, 7, 8 yards, and the ball inside the 15-yard line. You got to play tighter than that.
2nd and 1. It's the first time they've come up in a 2-back set. They break it with motion. They give the ball to Buford Jordan, and he bangs his way. He pinballs his way down to the 4-yard line. Stopped by Tuggle, and that should be a first down.
I think the first tackler at him was John Rady, the inside linebacker, and he bounced off. The New Orleans Saints are in scoring position as they move inside the 5-yard line.
And they like being in this area. Yeah. As you can see, they almost always get in. Tops in the NFL once they're inside the 5.
And if you're going to go against a team, why not Atlanta? They are one of the lightest teams up front you're going to find in the league. They're very small up front. The Saints are very big.
1st and goal from the 3. That's Wainwright in motion. Hebert dropped in the end zone. John Tice had his hands on it. He was covered by the safety, Jeff Donaldson. 2nd and goal.
Covered well he was by Donaldson. I think Bobby Hebert thought that he had a touchdown when he let it go, but A beautiful job of playing the football by Donaldson. Watch him make his move in front, and at the last minute, pull the arm down. You see, that's a trick a safety has to learn early. If you aren't in a position to be in front of the receiver, be in a position to pull down his arm so he can't control the ball.
Hebert had hit 9 straight. 2nd and goal at the 3. 3 minutes to go in the quarter. Saints up 7-zip. Jordan, half a yard or so. Oliver Barnett, 72, in on the tackle. 3rd and goal, and let's go back and take another look at the pass play.
Donaldson really living on the edge. Dan hit it just right. The ball is in there. It's caught by Tice. Now here comes the arm stripping the ball away. That's a great play, but again, Donaldson living right on the wire with that one because he was beaten.
Well, it was all he had left to play.
Exactly. And maybe Hebert may be a little too careful with it. There's Carl Smith, the offensive coordinator, former Bakersfield College football star. I thought I'd drop that in, local knowledge.
And the play he has called has 4 wideouts with Dalton Hilliard, the sole running back. 3rd and goal from the 3. Hebert throws. It's picked off in the end zone by Deion Sanders, who is tackled in the end zone. That is a touchback. So Deion Sanders makes a big play to stave off a New Orleans touchdown, to keep it at 7-0, and to give Atlanta the ball back at the 20-yard line.
Oh, how many he's made this year, too. It depends on that quickness, the speed. I don't know anyone as quick as he is, and he does make the big play, Al.
Is the great beer that's less filling. It's everything you want a beer to be.
Come on, let me show you where it's at. Come on, Miller Lite, it's big, bad. Come on.
Set it. 1 second, son.
To achieve superior results.
Now? Don't be so impatient.
You need superior tools. Since 1843, a company from New Britain, Connecticut, has been helping people do things right.
Okay. Try it now. Finally.
Stanley.
All right. You know, someday these tools could be yours. How about the car, Dad?
Stanley Mechanics tools at leading retailers.
It wakes up sleepy purples and helps canary yellows to fly. It gives the blues a wonderful bump. And even helps the roses to look rosier. It's Fuji color, and it's the reason why more people are looking into Fuji films every day. Fuji, a new way of seeing things.
Undefeated Washington goes after the national crown when they meet Heisman winner Desmond Howard and Big Ten champ Michigan. It's the Rose Bowl, New Year's Day on ABC Sports.
An offensive explosion by the Falcons so far.
Nary a yard.
0-0-0.
But they're down only 7-0. Sanders has just turned in a big play with the interception. Atlanta has it at the 20-yard line. Crowd in an uproar. And the catch is made by Pritchard. That's a 15-yard gain. We were talking to Chris Hinton, the tackle for Atlanta last night. He said the last time they played here, he said, I didn't hear one snap count.
Well, Hinton and Ken, the 2 tackles, are playing the entire game, not planning on hearing the quarterback at all. They are looking with their peripheral vision into the football and moving on the football. Now, one advantage, I think, for the Falcons here is how they match up against the Saints. The Saints' 2 best pass rushers are Jackson and Swilling, and they have to go against the Saints, the Falcons' 2 best linemen, Mike Ken and Chris Hinton. That's a matchup that works well for Atlanta.
1st and 10. Risen stays in the block. The catch is made by Haynes. That's a first down. He takes it to the 43. He has been their big play man, a guy who averages over 22 yards a catch during the regular season, and he begins the playoffs with a 22-yard reception.
Unbelievable speed, and up very close is Reggie Jones, playing him very tight, but still respecting that speed. And when it looked like Haynes was going to kick it into overdrive and broke to the sidelines, all of a sudden he was open.
Here's Mike Ken, number 78, working against Pat Swilling. Swilling had 17 sacks this year, led the league in 2 meetings, shut out by Mike Ken. Mike Ken has Pat Swilling's number. Mike told me yesterday he's only given up 1 sack to Pat Swilling in his entire career.
Pritchard in motion. Here is Eric Pegram. The rookie takes it to the 40. That's a gain of 3. Swilling makes the tackle, and that will be the final play of the quarter.
Swilling that time forced to the outside by Ken. Shows you the athletic ability he has. Watch top of your screen, 56, familiar number. A lot of great players are wearing it. Way to the outside, he still gets back and makes the stop on Pegram.
And that is the end of the first quarter. New Orleans 7, Atlanta nothing. We'll return to ABC's NFL Wildcard playoff game after this message and a word from our ABC station.
Freedom. It's the spirit which moves the Cutlass Supreme, a car intelligently engineered to free your eyes, your hands, your senses. Introducing the new Oldsmobile Cutlass Supreme. The look may change, but the spirit remains the same. Oldsmobile, the power of intelligent engineering.
Happy holidays from ABC.
Hi, I'm Jim. This is a car, and this is Subaru Lack of Pretense Days. And what we'd like to do is sell you a good car at a reasonable price. This Loyale wagon has all-wheel drive, AC, a nice AM/FM stereo, steering wheel, all for about $1,000 less than one of its closest competitors, Toyota Corolla. I didn't want to say it, but now I feel bad. Come test drive a Subaru today, won't you? Then I'll feel better.
Take a moment for MS. Call today.
And welcome back to ABC's NFL Wildcard playoff game, which is being brought to you by Mercedes-Benz. Engineered like no other car in the world. 2nd and 7 as we start the second quarter. New Orleans on top, 7-0. Falcons from the Saints 40, and a sack of Miller and a loose football. No signal yet from the officials, and now it is a fumble, and New Orleans has it.
I think Ricky Jackson was the Saint that gets in there and gets the hit. This great All-Pro from Pitt in his 11th year comes in from the outside. And let's see if he's not the New Orleans Saint that gets it. All right, Hinton stays inside, and Freilich is late coming back to the outside, and it was Jackson that comes in and hits Miller. That's a blocking scheme, Frank, that's very tough to be effective with, pulling a guard all the way out to get a blitzing linebacker.
What I wanted to add, what you said earlier, Dan, without a tight end, it brings both Ricky Jackson and Pat Swilling in a step and a half closer. They are very quick. Jackson, who sacked Miller 3 times in the first game, nails him again.
The only one of the Saints starting 4 linebackers not going to the Pro Bowl this year.
1st and 10 at the 48-yard line. Early in motion. McAfee bangs forward for a gain of 9. That recovery by Jackson is nothing new. Ricky last year had 7 fumble recoveries. This year, Jackson had 4 to share the league lead. So Ricky picks one up in the playoffs. to give New Orleans the ball back.
Man, he's been to so many Pro Bowls, it doesn't matter. He's been around for a while, and he has seen his share of Pro Bowls, now in his 11th year.
And it's going to keep happening to the Falcons if they don't change their blocking scheme. You cannot pull a guard out from inside like they were asking Bill Fralick to do and come out and expect to seal Ricky Jackson from making that corner. You've got to slide the line. Fralick will pick up the guy in front of Hinton. Let Hinton pick up Ricky Jackson.
Second and a long one. McAfee again. McAfee found the hole, picks up the first down, wrestled down by Scott Case at the 33-yard line.
Boy, what a story this youngster is. 6th-round draft pick. They cut him on the last cut, and he has been the running game and the offensive spark plug for these Saints over the past half of the season.
You see the massive time of possession advantage for the New Orleans Saints, 11:45 to 3:15. For a while there, the Falcons didn't have any yards at all. They finally got on with 40. And the one Saint turnover didn't hurt.
7-0 Saints, 13 and a half minutes left in the half. 3 tight end set for New Orleans. First and 10 at the 33-yard line. The short drop by Hebert, the quick flip to Turner, and he gets buried as he reaches the 28-yard line. It's a gain of about 5.
Turner locked up once again with man-for-man coverage by Dion, and you got to respect Turner. Look how far Dion plays. Now, he doesn't take a rapid drop, and he relies on his speed to get back to the receiver, but when you have a timing pattern like that with Hebert and Turner, Hebert was releasing that ball when Turner pulled up, and no way Dion is going to get back to it.
The ball came loose there, you can see it, but Turner's knee was already down on the ground, and really somehow the ball came back to him.
2nd and 5. They've got Hilliard split top of the screen to the left, and they send Early in motion to the bottom. And this is Buford Jordan, the fullback, normally the blocking back, but seeing some action as a ball carrier today, and he is stopped by Rick Bryan. And he's a guy who is not only filling the blocking back role, but some of the ball carrying duties today that would normally be accomplished by one Ironhead Hayward, who has been suspended.
Yeah, we were here a couple of weeks ago for that Monday nighter with the Raiders, and Hayward had been suspended in the week prior to that game by Jim Mora, and he said this is for the rest of the year, that Ironhead won't be back. He didn't rule out that he'll be back next year, but he is definitely finished for 91.
Undisclosed reason, but he just said for a violation of team policy.
3rd and 6 with Wesley Carroll in motion. Hebert for Turner again, but he is out of bounds. Turner is out of bounds at the 5.
Great defensive play there by McKyer. Got in front of Turner, bumped him in the 5-yard zone where he's allowed that bump, took away his quickness and his speed, and then was able to go stride for stride with Turner, and Hebert had no place to put it, but it's a good pass by Hebert just to get rid of it. See, there's the bump that's allowed, and he forces him to take it out of bounds. Good coverage by McKyer.
Yeah, I think his right foot, let's check where it lands. The right foot looks like it landed in. If he could have dragged that left foot, he would have had a catch, but pretty tough to do with a ball that was thrown that far outside of it.
45-yard field goal attempt for Morton Anderson, one of the best ever. And that looks like a kick off the foot of one of the best ever.
45-yarder, Al. That baby was well up into the net.
It was going up.
It was.
And right down the middle. They settled for 3 after the bubble recovery. It's 10-0 New Orleans.
This new S-Class is so many things. Space, strength, and safety, of course. But more than anything else, it's the performance that will astonish people. Because it's so quick, so agile. If you don't love driving this car, maybe you just don't like driving.
Happy New Year!
for the American celebration.
To me, there's nothing better than winning a Super Bowl or a NASCAR race. That's why when my race team hits the circuit, there'll be an Interstate battery cranking it up. Interstate's my kind of battery because it's got the power and stamina it takes to be a winner. So insist on an Interstate battery from over 200,000 automotive service, repair, and parts centers everywhere. Call 1-800-CRANK-IT for the one nearest you. You win every time with Interstate.
New Year's Day, Wednesday, a triple header for you here on ABC. We start at 1:30 Eastern, Florida Citrus Bowl. The California Golden Bears take on the Clemson Tigers. Then the best bowl matchup of the day, the Rose Bowl in Pasadena, second-ranked Washington against Michigan and Desmond Howard at 4:45. And this crew will be right back here in the Superdome for the Sugar Bowl, Notre Dame against third-ranked Florida at 8:30, New Year's night.
What separates the University of Miami and the University of Washington in the polls? Very, very little.
Here's Anderson's kick, and again giving Sanders no opportunity to run it back. .11:32 remaining in the first half. ABC's NFL Wildcard playoff game is being brought to you by Mercedes-Benz, engineered like no other car in the world. Al Michaels, Frank Gifford, Dan Deerdorf. If you missed it earlier today in Kansas City, the Chiefs advance. They knocked off the Raiders 10-6. They don't know whether they will go to Buffalo or to Denver. That depends on what happens in the Houston, New York Jet game tomorrow. Mike Rozier is in the game as the running back behind Chris Miller, the quarterback. Saints nearly jumped, but get back on side, and Miller to throw on first down. This is Pritchard with a convoy in front of him, and the rookie from Colorado picks up 15, his second 15-yard reception of the day.
Well-designed play, Dan. That was a little screen to the flanker with the running back Rozier out in front of it.
Well, one of the things, Frank, you really would like to have happen is to have a blitz come from the side that you've called the screen, and that's exactly what happened that time. Ricky Jackson came from the outside, which took him completely out of the play, and that's just one of those things. You call it, and it happens to work out just right. See, there's Jackson at the top of your screen. Watch him come. There's Swilling. He's down, cut down again, out of the play. That's why it's successful. It's a chess game.
First down, Atlanta at the 35-yard line. Here's Mike Rozier. Nice move by Rozier to break tackles in the backfield and turn what would have been a loss into a 7-yard gain. Reggie Jones knocks him down.
Former great star, Heisman Award winner in Nebraska, and then, of course, the USFL, and then at Houston, and probably would have seen much more of him had it not been that I think Jerry Glanville flat wants the youngster in the Pegram to pick up any potential blitz. And that's, if there's one area that Rozier might be a little light on, and that is that. And you don't want to lose your quarterback. And so Rozier is going to get spot work. But great running back, Mike Rozier.
Second and 3, Falcons at the 42. 10 minutes to go in the half. 10-0 Saints. Rozier on second and 3 has the first down, a lot more, takes it across the 50, stopped at the Saint 48-yard line by Milton Mack.
Well, the question now for the Atlanta Falcons, they seem to have gotten into a groove where they're moving the ball and moving it effectively. Can they keep from self-destructing? That's what they've been doing so far. All right, look right in the middle. Look at the good seal block on the left side. There's an effective block by Dukes, the center. Fralick, the right guard, turned out, and a gaping aperture in the middle of the Saints defense.
First and 10 at the 48-yard line. Risen in motion. Miller throws to Risen and incomplete, and that's about the best thing that could have happened to the Falcons because Gene Atkins was right there. He would have made the tackle for about a 4-yard loss.
Dan said it was a chess game. Remember 2 plays ago when they did the screen to the flanker on the right side, they caught him in the blitz over on that side. That time they caught them in a zone over on the left side. Forget it, there's no play at all.
The zone rotates right up into it, and you're right. You hear coaches say all the time what a chess game it is, and we try to make the call, and we hope that they kind of move their men their pieces in the other direction, and that's when you see a big play.
Not guesswork, but it's studied for many, many hours over the course of the week. They look for frequencies, and they hope they get it.
But sometimes it's just luck.
2nd and 10. And over the middle, the catch is made by Mike Haynes, who normally goes further downfield. He is stopped at the 40-yard line. He is short of the first down by about 3. Milton Mack is there on the tackle.
Oh, a big job by Ken and Hinton and that offensive line, because Chris Miller wanted to go deep. Right here, he wanted to deliver it. No one's open. Good coverage. He had to check off to about the 3rd receiver, and again, Hinton working on Ricky Jackson and doing a fine job.
Yep, Jackson declares upfield. Hinton just takes him and rides him. That's not holding in the NFL. Ken does the same thing on the other side to Swilling. With that kind of time, Chris Miller will move the football.
3rd and a short 3 at the Saints 40-yard line. And it's Rozier bursting through the middle, picking up 5, keeping the drive going. First down at the 35-yard line. 8 minutes to go in the half. Rozier was their 2nd leading ground gainer this year. Their leading ground gainer, Steve Broussard, broken fibula, out for the rest of the playoffs. Neither team, by the way, had a guy gain more than 500 yards on the ground this year. It's the first postseason game in the NFL since 1953 without a runner who had gained 500 yards in the regular season.
Rozier was over 600 a year ago, but he came in late. He didn't come in this year on a contract dispute until late September, or rather September the 2nd, and we're not too happy with him.
1st and 10 at the 35-yard line. Here is Rozier again. Inside the 30 and hit down at the 28-yard line by Gene Atkins.
It's that kind of running that'll make them happy very quickly, though. No question Rozier can get it done. He has size. He has the low center of gravity that all of a sudden is very popular throughout the league. Tough to bring down one-on-one.
Now, well, Gene Atkins gave him a pretty good pop right there. Fralick's out front. He gets into Vaughn Johnson's knees. Doesn't knock him down, but keeps him out of the play. But that's a pretty well-timed pop by Gene Atkins. Watch this thing here. I mean, that's taken on a guy that outweighs you considerably in planning.
2nd and 3 at the 28-yard line. Rozier again. This is his 5th carry, and he takes it to the 22, and that's another first down. He's averaging about 7 yards a pickup. Johnson in on the tackle with 6:30 to go in the half.
What a nice move on Swilling to get back inside and get the first down yardage, and Mike Rozier is sucking it up. He has been the principal architect of this drive, and he really has not played that much. Came into this afternoon's game with a little over 360 yards. He's been the main man on this drive.
1st and 10, Atlanta at the 22. 10-0 Saints. 6 minutes to go in the half. Miller with time. Miller throws into traffic and is lucky it wasn't intercepted by Brett Maxey.
Oh, he was so lucky. He threw it right into the zone side of the Saints defense. There were 3 Saints in the area.
Again, tremendous protection by his guys up front, and this was just a very, very poor choice by Chris Miller. He locked on to Rison and stayed with him the entire time. Again, look how he had the line of sight, and I don't know, he almost looked like he tried to throw it away and made a poor throw of doing that.
2nd and 10 at the 22. Rozier can't get on track, loses the football. Saints have it at the 27. Frank Warren dislodged it, and Brett Maxey, who nearly had the interception, recovers the fumble.
And Frank Warren dislodged it on purpose. That was no mistake. Frank Warren ripped at the right arm of Mike Rozier with his arm and intentionally pulled that ball out of there. Kind of reminiscent of what we saw earlier.
Miller throws, and they take advantage with a touchdown to Rison. What a break for the Falcons on what clearly should have been a fumble. The whistle had blown. They keep the ball, and they cash in.
And I nominate Mike Rozier for the happiest man in America.
He won't have to face this man.
And Glanville is second.
And let's take a look at Rison on his way to the Pro Bowl. A great couple of years after coming from Indianapolis. Spins around like a top. The defensive back covering him, Milton Mack, who wasn't even starting a few weeks ago, turns him around wide open right at the goal line. One of the premier receivers in football today, Andre Rison.
Johnson for the point after. And the Atlanta Falcons right back in it. So clearly a fumble, but a break for the Falcons because the whistle had blown and the play was dead. 5:26 left in the half. It's 10-7 Saints. Very well-maintained facility. Beautiful structure that opened in the mid-'70s.
Down the street from the French Quarter and Bourbon Street. That will be certainly rocking tonight. Either way.
Yes, win or lose. Or
Sugar Bowl crowds already arriving.
I know a lot of people don't like domes, and football is better outside. But if you got to be in a dome, this is the best of the best.
Norm Johnson boots it to the 9-yard line, and McAfee, the rookie, runs it back out past the 30 and all the way out to the 39, but they say he stepped out of bounds at the 33. And there's Bobby April, the special teams coach. He was out of bounds at the 33-yard line. That's where the Saints have it with 5:14 left in the half.
The car world wants headlines. They like quicker, quieter, roomier. But this new S-Class isn't that simple. You see, there are so many advances in this car that affect so many things. Handling, structural strength, performance, durability, reliability. Although I have to say, it is very quick. It is very roomy. It is very quiet.
My health club always had Pert Plus in the locker room. It cleans, conditions. It's great. Then one day they switched. This one said it had conditioner in it, but my hair told a different story.
Some 2-in-1s don't lather as well or leave hair feeling as clean. Others don't fully condition. But Pert Plus's microbead conditioner leaves hair clean and completely conditioned.
So now when I go to my club, my Pert Plus goes with me.
Pert Plus. There's no 2-in-1 like this one.
Cold-filtered Miller Genuine Draft. For those who've discovered its real draft taste, the world is a very cool place.
Monday.
This place is a death trap.
Mac puts the screws to a crooked slumlord and ends up at an exclusive housewarming. An all-new MacGyver Monday.
Couple of things. Number one, Mike Rozier has gone back into the locker room with a bruised knee, but now he is coming back. This is a live shot. He had gone back. He has a slight limp, as you can see.
Funny an ice pack he has on the lower part of it. Looks like below the knee.
It is a first down at the 38-yard line for the Saints. 5:14 to go in the half. And Hebert to throw. And the catch is made on the far side by Quinn Early. It's a minimal gain. McKyer makes the stop. To clear up the Rozier fumble, clearly it was a fumble. It was a bad call on the field. The whistle should not have blown. They did not review it. Howard Rowe had announced the play was being reviewed. The replay booth is saying we were just waiting to hear what they were saying. They cannot review that play in the replay booth. If the whistle blows and the play is dead, that's the end of that.
And that's the end of that.
Yep.
Except I'd like to, well.
You'll get a chance.
But there is.
okay.
Second and 8 at the 40-yard line. Here's McAfee. Funny playoff game. You've got McAfee on one hand, Pegram on the other, starting as the running backs. Each a rookie, each a 6th-round draft choice.
As I said earlier, McAfee actually cut and brought back to the practice squad after the season had started, activated in the 6th game, and came into this afternoon's game as the leading rusher for the New Orleans Saints. A spectacular second half of the season for the youngster Fred McAfee.
Neither one of them was the tailback at USC either.
No.
McAfee from Mississippi College and Eric Pegram from North Texas State.
3rd and 5 up at the 44-yard line.
You notice I got USC in there for
Thank you. We'll work on Michigan.
Into traffic and nearly picked off. It was Mo Gardner, the nose tackle of all people, who was downfield. Well, the Falcons like to cross you up, and that's crossing you up when your nose tackle is 10 yards down the field.
Yeah, that's a new one for me. 6'2", 260-pounder dropping into your pass coverage. I've seen him take a man in the flat, a possible screen man, but never into the hook zone.
Well, you know who'll do that every now and then? The Bears will do that with Richard Dent. They'll stand him up. That time, though, Mo Gardner was in a down stance like a tackle, and son of a gun almost got it.
As Glanville said, we make people nervous. Tommy Barnhart to punt. Deion Sanders is back at the 10, but he's going to let it bounce, and the Saints can't stop it from crossing the line.
Oh, and that was a good fake by Deion Sanders. He really did make it look like he was going to field the ball, then got out of there at the last minute. Smart play, Deion.
3:25 left in the half.
It's what you talk about.
If you want respect, you gotta earn it. GQ!
It's what you fight for.
You gotta be ready to go down, stand up, and die for that stuff.
Check this out. It's gonna be a piece of cake, Q.
Freeze time!
What, is you scared?
You're mixed up in it, aren't you?
It's what you need to survive. Juice, rated R. Starts Friday, January 17th at theaters everywhere.
When you rent from Hertz in Florida, you get more than a great car at a great rate. The real bargain is the company behind the car. Because whatever it takes to make your vacation go smoothly, Hertz is there to make it happen. From emergency road service that's as close as a phone to free unlimited mileage. Wherever you roam. Next time you're in Florida, wouldn't you feel better with Hertz behind you?
Hertz, we're America's wheels.
Some say we are obsessed with safety. Perhaps. But in the new S-Class, it goes way beyond dual airbags. If you look at rollovers, rear and offset frontal impacts, this isn't style, this is substance. Safety. You know, if we did nothing else, that would be reason enough for the new S-Class.
It's the Dogs against the Hogs. The Georgia Bulldogs take on the Arkansas Razorbacks in the Poland Weed Eater Independence Bowl, Sunday on ABC Sports.
3:25 remaining in the first half. The Saints had taken a 10-0 lead. Falcons got a break on a bad call when a fumble was not ruled a fumble, and they cashed in to make it 10-7, and now they have it at their own 20-yard line. Miller airs it out for Haynes, and he gets bumped. There is no flag. It is intercepted by Vince Glenn.
Chris Miller again, very well ill-advised, and into the double coverage. Inside, outside, on the receiver, and Vince Glenn just looked it into the hands. Trying to hit the speedster, Michael Haynes, but you can't outrun a zone if it's played properly. Watch 29, bottom of your screen. And he's reading all the way back. Ball underthrown, as a matter of fact, a little bit. Vince Glenn in absolute perfect position.
Frank, the ball was wobbling something terrible. It almost looks like he lost it when he threw it, but the ball has no spiral to it. Look at it right there. Look at the motion on the football. That's why it dies. And it's almost coming straight down, almost like a punt by the time it's actually intercepted. It gave the impression of a ball that kind of slipped out of Miller's hands when he threw it.
No question he can still throw it. He still has a plate and screws in his right shoulder from a fractured shoulder a year ago. And he said it's no problem when we talked to him last night.
First down, New Orleans at the 35-yard line. Hebert with a lot of time, and that one is incomplete, intended for early, and back covering on the play was Brian Jordan. 3:11 to go in the first half.
There's Chris Miller probably thinking about the wounded duck that he put up there. Al touched on it early. He can get on tremendously hot streaks for you, and then he can be just about as erratic as you hate to see. He threw a bad pass a moment ago.
2nd and 10. Hilliard and Jordan are the split back. Saints with Hebert trying to get it to Hilliard, but he was covered by Rady. It's incomplete. It's 3rd down and 10, and that time Brian Jordan forced the issue on the safety blitz. Saints on top, 10-7. If the Saints win this game, they go to Detroit next week. If Atlanta wins the game, they go to Washington next week. Third and 10 from the 35. Hebert from the shotgun. 4-man Atlanta rush. Hebert throws, and that's incomplete. Turner had it in his hands, and Jordan said, you're not going to have possession very long.
Oh, that was a good look at Atlanta doing what they do so well. They got up and showed the blitz. They waited till Hebert read the pre-coverage at the line of scrimmage, and then they dropped back into their zone, and they had the man just sitting there waiting to make the pop.
When you play zone defense, you take an area. If somebody comes into it, you hit them.
He had him.
That's what Brian Jordan did right there.
Barnhart the punt with 3:01 left in the first half. Deion Sanders from the 15, the ever-dangerous Sanders, with a good return, steps out of the 36-yard line. That is a 21-yard run back, and that's where Atlanta will take over after Brian Ford forces him out of bounds. Well, for those of you who wonder what Deerdorf eats beside Ultra Slim Fast, Dan went out and shot this video last night.
If you have not had a beignet and some chicory coffee at the Cafe Beignet, you have not lived.
You ever think growing up in Canton you would ever be discussing beignet in New Orleans? That is wonderful, isn't it?
He thought he'd be discussing Ben Gay, never beignet.
There's some players on the field that are discussing various ointments and muscle relaxers. This has been an extremely hard-hitting first half.
And a good game, like so many of the Atlanta-New Orleans games of the past, and a rivalry that has gone on since these two teams came into professional football in the mid-60s, but never has an Atlanta-New Orleans game been more meaningful than this one. Miller throws. The catch is made by Haynes, and their big play man turns into big play, taking it to the 44-yard line. Milton Mack makes the tackle. Talked about this rivalry and the history of these two teams. One's been in the league for 25 years, one for 26. They won a total of one postseason game.
But Atlanta has never had Jerry Glanville around. He came in a year ago, and he's a fun guy. What did he tell us last night? He said, you know, the losing coach of this game tomorrow, he said, guys, you ought to come on the air, and that should be your opening statement. He ought to be fired. And we kind of looked at him quizzically. He said, look how many jobs are open out there.
That's right.
He said, this is the year to get fired. I'll go 3-13 next year, and there won't be any jobs open.
He said, this is definitely the year to be a coaching free agent.
Rozier is back in the game as Miller gets set to throw, nearly gets sacked. He was sure he was going to get sacked by a phantom, and then gets knocked down by Frank Warren.
Where is the sacker?
The most surprised guy in America that he didn't get hit was Chris Miller. I guess he must have been a Boy Scout, because he definitely was in. He was definitely following the be prepared. There he.
Well, more times than not, he would have been right.
On the third Sunday in August, this place turns from a hard-working ranch town into a hard-riding rodeo town. And folks like us take it on the chin, in our backs, and about everywhere else. That's why most of us here rely on Tylenol. With all the choices Doc Hall has, he gives us the same thing he takes himself.
From small-town doctors to big city hospitals, Tylenol's the pain reliever America counts on.
Hang on, Doc!
It's the one hospitals use most.
All right, Angela, stretch up, arch your back.
I remember the very first time I fell. I didn't want to ride again. But after Grandpa picked me up and put me back on, I knew I had to try.
At AT&T, we know every great athlete has been inspired by someone. As a proud sponsor of the U.S. Olympic team, we salute them all.
After all these years, Grandpa's still there to pick me up.
Imagine a rent-a-car company that offers special delivery right to your door. That's Enterprise.
Here, let me help you.
Enterprise, a special rent-a-car company that gives you special delivery.
Two pizzas, two crazy breads, two servings of Coke Classic for $7.98 at Little Caesars. It's a party.
Two things here. Watch this matchup again right here between Pat Swilling and Mike Ken. And then this is again where we can watch Chris Miller. But watch Ken. He takes the upfield away from Swilling. Swilling's going to go back to the inside. Ken stays with him and rides him all the way back down. And then Chris Miller evades the phantom tackler, but not Frank Warren from behind.
He stepped over that snake that Jerry Glanville's been worried about for so long.
Mike Ken in his 14th year, one of the great offensive tackles ever to play in the National Football League.
Oh, he is a horse too, isn't he?
This guy one time went 26 games without a penalty. Without a penalty of any kind.
He's given up, what, one sack this season?
Yep, this
That's
one.
remarkable.
2nd and 12 for Atlanta at the Saint 46. 2 minutes to go in the first half. Rozier fumbles again, and it falls right into the hands of Houston Hoover. So Rozier, who had gotten away with what should have been a fumble before, gets lucky again.
I think it bounced right off the back of the center, Jamie Dukes, and then right to Hoover, who was prone on the turf, and that was a very fortunate bounce for the Falcons.
Jerry Granville didn't even hesitate. He turned to Pegram, gave him the thumb, get in there, and out comes Rozier.
Okay, watch this.
Inside 2 minutes.
You're going to see the ball come out, and again, it's not that big a hit that knocks it out. It's more than stripped. There it hit Dukes, right to Hoover. And I don't know that the Falcons can count on being that lucky in trying to cover up continuous fumbles by Mike Rozier.
Well, there was no hesitation on the part of Jerry Glanville. He just gave the thumb to Pegram, get in there.
They are moving the ball to the spot where it was fumbled instead of where the advancement was.
Read 144. Gamecock should read 144. Thank you.
Yeah, Jerry Glanville making a quick decision. Jerry Glanville, a guy who doesn't quite know what to drive to work in the morning. Do I drive my van, my car, my sports car, my motorcycle, my NASCAR? This guy has everything except an airplane and a bicycle, I guess.
Well, according to Jerry, he tells us he drag races motorcycles, gets up to about 109 miles in a quarter of a mile. That's kind of remarkable.
3rd and 11 at the 45-yard line. Here come the Saints, and it's a little dump off into unbelievable traffic and intercepted by Sam Mills. Terrible pass.
Swilling
might
have grabbed the intended receiver. As he read the screen coming out, flag comes in late.
Glanville said we play like an NBA team. That was a jump ball.
Swilling comes from the backside, and the Falcons leave him unblocked, but you guys hit it right on the head at the beginning. What a terrible choice by Chris Miller trying to force that ball in.
Prior to the interception, we got personal foul, defense number 56, roughing the quarterback with a shove.
Oh, what a huge penalty as that works against New Orleans. Pat Swilling, as I said, was unblocked. He was turned loose by the Falcons intentionally. Let's watch Pat coming from the backside, and they're going to call him for roughing the quarterback.
Oh, that didn't do it.
Wow. Well, it didn't look like much of a vicious hit from that angle. let's look at it again a little bit higher, but it's still from behind. From the left, there's Swilling.
I think that he's so vulnerable that that's what draws the flag. He's off balance, looking at the receiver, but again, hardly even touched, and down goes Miller and draws the flag.
Boy, I know we're trying to protect quarterbacks in this league, but that is a borderline call.
Still, all of the key calls in this half have gone against the Saints.
And it came before the interception, so the interception is nullified.
First down at the 30-yard line. Here is Pegram. Gain of 2. Stopped by Martin. 1:16 left, and a timeout is taken here.
Another look at the roughing the passer. I mean, really, you're only allowed one step before you hit the quarterback, and Frank, it only looked to be one step.
And Pegram is the intended receiver on this, the screen pass, which was read over on the other side, and was actually Ricky Jackson who clotheslined him coming out of there. But the Saints all over this play.
Well, the Saints have had an interception negated by a penalty, and a fumble recovery negated by an early whistle.
The 5'9" Sam Mills, a starter in the Pro Bowl, and boy, you just talk to people over and over and over and talk about what a wonderful tackler Sam Mills is, what an excellent technician he is. When you stop to think in a game dominated by really huge people, to be 5'9", 225, to be playing inside linebacker in the National Football League, I think is something in and of itself. To be a Pro Bowl player at that size, that's as good as it gets for somebody that size.
2nd and 8 at the 28. 1:16 to play in the half. Atlanta has 2 timeouts left. Saints up 10-7. Pritchard in motion. Keep it on the ground. Pegram spin move, tackled at the 28 by Swilling, no gain. Right now, they are in position, if they don't gain another yard, where they could bring Johnson in for a game-tying 45 or 46-yard field goal. And Atlanta takes a timeout here. They have 1 remaining.
Well, now that was a good play by Pat Swilling, who moved inside to an inside linebacker position, attacked Houston Hoover, the left guard, and beat him to the inside to make that play. That was excellent by Swilling.
You know, those of you who might have watched the game last week in which Dallas beat Atlanta, you recall that they used Deion Sanders as a wide receiver, and even though he dropped a couple of balls, he was effective. He dropped one that could have been a touchdown. He was taken out of bounds on another. We asked him why he wasn't going to be in there today, because he had a rather good preseason working as a wide receiver. And he said, I don't know. He said, I just haven't had the work. They haven't worked me this past week, so I guess I won't be in there. He said, I've been in their face trying to tell them they need me out there, but they haven't worked me.
Well, then we asked Jerry Glanville about it, and Glanville says the guy missed mini camp because he's playing baseball. He missed preseason training camp because he's playing baseball, and then he got hurt early in the year, some muscle stuff, and then wasn't able to really get much work at it.
Pointed out how complex it is when you have to read the defense as a receiver to make sure your quarterback knows where you're going. You have to work with the quarterback, and he said he's just not had the time to work at it.
3rd and 8. Rising in motion from the 28. Miller has the first down. Haynes makes the catch. He takes it to the 12-yard line. They have 1 timeout left, and they utilize it right here with 55 ticks left on the clock.
Well, Haynes will get your attention. He runs a 4.2840. Went to the Olympic trials and ran against Carl Lewis in Indianapolis in 1988. So consequently, you get great respect from this youngster who has averaged, coming into the game, 22.5 yards per reception.
He's a kid who grew up here in New Orleans. He went to high school here. He didn't play high school football. He played in the band. He was a trumpeter.
Let me ask you a question here, guys. What do you think about their calling a timeout right there? I mean, they had plenty of time to run up to the ball and run a play and conserve that timeout. Without a timeout, when it comes down to trying to get it stopped to run a field goal, you take away the middle of the field by not having a timeout at your disposal. I find that to be an interesting call by the Falcons, using their final timeout there instead of running to the line of scrimmage.
With a lot of time remaining, 55 seconds on the clock.
You know, if it's 25 seconds on the clock, then I can see you don't have time to do it. But with almost a minute left, I'd have run up there and run a play.
And for Chris Miller, again, keep your eye on number 80, Andre Rison. He is the one that works so well in close.
1st and 10 at the 13-yard line. Pritchard in motion. So 3 receivers now set to the left. Miller, after looking that way, gets sacked back at the 28 by Wayne Martin. That is a 14-yard sack. And the clock stops momentarily as they set up, and then Miller downs it to stop the clock with 46 seconds, and that's going to make it 3rd down and 24. And this is gross.
Oh, Wayne Martin beat one of the best in the business, Dan.
Well, he goes right between Freilich and Hinton. Watch here on the right. Watch Martin split 79 and 75. Freilich turns him loose. Hinton is too far to his outside. Can't block him without holding him and lets him go. You know, that's a situation where you don't want to get a holding penalty, but you might as well grab the guy if you're beat that bad.
And then, Dan, with 46 seconds, though, you don't have to down it on 2nd down and 24. And they downed it there. That stops the clock. They still have 46 seconds.
You're exactly right, Al.
3rd and 24. It's a total waste of a play, completely. A low throw. The catch is not made. It's incomplete.
And then to compound it on 3rd and 24, they run a 4-yard pattern.
And now they put themselves in position where the field goal attempt by Johnson is going to be from about 44 yards.
Johnson having a good year, the former Seattle star. His best for the year, 50 yards. And that's several times in his career.
44-yard attempt. From 45 or less this season, he's been perfect. 17 of 17. From 44, he tries to tie the game. And he does. So he couldn't find a home in Seattle for 91, but he has really found a home in Atlanta. And the Falcons are used to being 10 down in this building, as they were in November, and they came from behind and won that game, and they were down 10-0 in this one, and have tied it 10-10 with 37 seconds remaining in the half.
You know, it's interesting, too, for New Orleans fans. They've been ecstatic over the past couple of weeks because of their big victory over the Raiders, 27-0, 27-3 over Phoenix, and of course Atlanta losing to Dallas. They win the division, but in the back of their minds, they've got to think back to the 5 games they lost. They were leading in those games going into the 4th quarter, all 5 of them. They lost 4 games in a row. And coming into the tail end of the season, that they were leading going into the 4th quarter. So it's kind of an uneasy crowd that sits here today.
You know, we've harped on clock management all year, but I mean, week after week, we see it. Not only did they take their last time out with 55 seconds, burn the play by downing it, but they've left New Orleans with 37 seconds and all 3 timeouts on the other side.
No, you're right. It's something that you would think would be handled better than it is by a lot of teams. But, you know, once again, though, we're kind of removed from the pressure side of it up here, so maybe we're afforded the opportunity of being a little more analytical. But still, they're paid to make those kind of decisions, and a lot of times you see poor decisions made.
Fred McAfee will take it out of the end zone. Breaking tackle. Great run back to the 35, and a flag comes in as well.
That might be a face mask. That came in late. There are 2 flags, actually. But they couldn't get McAfee down. He's not that big. He weighs about 192 pounds. He is powerful.
You saw the dismayed Bobby April, whose unit not only gives up a long run back, but more yardage on the penalty.
And the question now will be, is this going to be a 5-yard or a 15-yard face mask?
It's almost inevitable.
5-yard face mask penalty. Tack on at the end of the run. 1st down.
Not intentional, but it's almost inevitable when you keep your feet, you keep dragging tacklers. Deion Sanders, as he does customarily, going in high, trying to drag him down, got his hand caught in the mask. Unintentional 5 yards, but it does, with the 28 seconds now remaining, as Al pointed out, it gives New Orleans field position to try to look for some more points.
Well, Deion is many things, Frank, but he's not a good tackler. He's always up around the shoulder pads. He is not a vicious tackler, and that's the type of thing, as you said, that's what happens. You get the hands high, you're going to find a face mask every now and then.
Saints with all their timeouts left, and over the middle, here's Dalton Hilliard. He takes the ball into Atlanta territory, and they're already in field goal range, getting it to the 32, timeout Saints.
A beautiful call, a 2-man Falcon pass rush. The middle of the field is left wide open. A beautiful call. by Carl Smith, the offensive coordinator of the New Orleans Saints.
And a safe one, Dan.
Totally safe, but the key, Atlanta only comes with 2 people. You see only 2 guys, and look at that. Jesse Tuggle is left to defend the entire middle of the field against 3 Saint offensive linemen.
7 defensive backs, 1 linebacker. No way Tuggle is going to take Hilliard one-on-one.
No, he's good, not that good. Not if he's got to beat off 3 Saint linemen to get to him.
That's Carl Smith. Good call.
And
very
Al,
conservative call.
Al, you mentioned about the mistake of leaving them 37 seconds at the end of the first half. Here they are now down to the 33-yard line.
And for Morton Anderson, well, this is not quite chip shot range, but he's a guy who's already kicked one from 60 this year.
And one thing Bobby Hebert does well, too, guys, and that is protect the ball, protect the opportunity. He will not do it. He's very cool, very collected. He won't gamble. And it would be a rare occasion when he would turn this ball over down here, even though he might try to get 7.
It'd be 50 yards from here if they don't get another yard.
From the gun. Atlanta nearly jumped, but they got back. No flag. Hebert dumps it for Hilliard. Hilliard gets to the 30. Now you're looking at a 47-yard field goal. Timeout with 11 ticks. Mo Gardner with the tackle.
The scoreboard still shows that the Saints had 3 timeouts before that play. I believe they only had 2, didn't they? Because Hebert took one.
Exactly.
So I think they're down to 1
They
now.
have one left.
Right.
And 11 seconds on the clock.
The scoreboard just removed 2 of those timeouts.
And that's plenty of time, I think, probably to try to work the ball closer for Morton Anderson. He's well within range, but do something safe, high percentage, and then call your last time out and put it through the uprights.
And Frank, it's exactly the point we were talking about, what the Falcons did to themselves by removing them that last time out. The Saints now can use the entire football field. They don't have to be afraid about going over the middle because they've got that 1 timeout left. They're not restricted to the outside third of the field where they have to get out of bounds or into the end zone. Where we saw poor clock management on the one hand, we have now seen extremely effective use of the clock and play selection by the Saints.
Interesting what that screen did a few moments ago. It'll also keep the Atlanta down linemen, and now there are 3 of them on the field. It'll keep them wary as to a screen, slow down their pass rush, give Hebert an opportunity to look over receivers.
2nd and 7 at the 30. 4 wide receivers. Hilliard adjoins Hebert in the shotgun. 3-man rush. Over the middle, the catch is made by Carroll. Timeout. He gets to the 18, and now you're looking at about a 35-yard field goal.
Yeah, that's beautiful. That's great work, and it all goes back to a youngster, Fred McAfee, that was not on the roster at the beginning of the season. He got the Saints into field position where they could gamble a little bit. They didn't come with a big one. They went with the screenplay, got big yardage out of that, but that was a great series for New Orleans. The calls were perfect, and it was a superb effort by the youngster Fred McAfee, returning that kickoff.
Again, the Falcons special teams this year, blocking 7 kicks, including 2 field goal attempts. Anderson, as you look at Rozier on the Atlanta sideline, Anderson will kick this one from about the 25-yard line, the 35-yard kick, to try to give New Orleans the halftime lead. Joel Hilgenberg will snap it. Tommy Barnhart will hold it. 35 yards. And New Orleans has the lead.
That was pretty to watch.
It doesn't take long, does it?
Great clock management. The perfect calls, perfect execution.
Well, it all started with the good kickoff return.
The rookie McAfee breaking tackles, the extra yardage because of the Deion Sanders penalty, and then Hebert guiding them downfield, and an easy field goal for Morton Anderson. We say easy, well, for him, 35 is real easy.
Well, what a pretty look that was right there. And Barnhart and Anderson.
Don't you love it when kickers...
That was a dainty.
Delicate headbutt.
That was a dainty headbutt. That was a petite headbutt.
Petite headbutt. I like it.
No jeopardy of either one of those guys cracking their helmet with that one. No.
There he is. Dan mentioned a moment ago the youngster went to middle.
Well, will we see the cow play here?
Exactly what they wanted.
Throwing it back. If they don't watch it, the Saints could get a touchdown here. Well, that's quite a way to end it. And as we said at the very top, the Falcons, who blitzes a lot, integral part of the defense.
He actually gets hit, I think, on his right knee by Sanders.
It's hyperextended at the right knee, and that's what they're going to look at.
He's trying to make a block, and as Deion Sanders is trying to make something happen, he actually hits the right leg of Brian Jordan. Let's see if we can find it here. Take a look at it. You see this right here. This is Jordan, and Sanders is going to come knifing in here in this direction, and watch how he's going to hit him right on the right knee. He'll plant his right foot, and there it is. And you can see how it kind of caught the ankle at an awkward angle. It caught the knee and pushed it back a little bit. Oh, there's perfect look at the way that knee flexes out. And Brian Jordan is walking over to the Falcons sideline, and he wasn't very far from being carried over to the sideline. That was almost a catastrophe for Mr. Jordan. That thing is going to stiffen up and get sore. I can guarantee that.
Atlanta at its own 16. They begin with Eric Pegram, the rookie from West Texas State, in the backfield. Miller sends Risen in motion. And it's Pegram. Up to the 20-yard line. The rookie picks up 4. Frank Warren, 73, makes the tackle for the Saints.
It looks like Jamie Dukes, the center, is hurt. He landed awkwardly.
Back up his guy, Bingham.
I think the pile fell on him. I think he was out in front trying to make a block, and it's one of those deals where the pile catches up with you. The collection of humanity is kind of eats you up, and that's what happened to Dukes that time.
Bingham remains on the sideline. Mike Ruther, another guy who can snap the ball, for the moment has come on.
Ruther has been used even at the tight end position, but again, in just 2 plays, Atlanta hurt by the loss of Brian Jordan. I think we will probably not see him again.
Ruther is a USFL guy that has been around, was in Denver, was in Phoenix for a while. Take a look, there's Dukes on the left side, and he's blocking on Sam Mills, and here come the tacklers, here comes the ball carrier, and you can see his right leg gets caught in there. He does get it out in time, but obviously some damage was inflicted before he did. He is assisted to the sidelines there.
Well, what you have to worry now, if you're with the Atlanta Falcons, is the snap count, the exchange between the center and the quarterback is so critical. And when you don't get the reps during the week, as Jamie Dukes would probably take all the reps during the course of the week as they practice offensively, and now all of a sudden you get a change at that critical spot, is that everyone is in tune, everyone on the right page.
And one of the problems Miller has had in his career has been handling snaps. 2nd down and 6 from the 20-yard line. Miller stepping up, throwing, finds the open man, Risen. And he goes out of bounds at the 38-yard line, and that's a 1st down.
Well, if the Falcons win this game, Frank, Chris Miller ought to take his offensive lineman out for a hearty dinner. They are giving him some time to find receivers.
Take a look at Risen again, Pro Bowl bound, but you're so right now. Miller has a lot of time. This takes a lot of time to get this pass off. Crossing far over from the left side, breaking across till he clears the linebackers, and Miller had to wait, had to get the protection, and he got it in there. And they continue to work on Dukes.
Yeah, there's Jerry Ray, the trainer of the Falcons, working on Jamie Dukes, trying to put all Humpty's pieces back together again.
From the 38 on 1st down, Miller going to take off with it. And he is out of bounds, a little short of the 1st down as he gets up to the 47-yard line.
Again, tremendous work up front by this Falcon offensive line, and it seems the longer we get into this game, the more they're beginning to assert themselves against a tremendous defense. And there's Mike Ken, who is just having Pat Swilling for lunch. Swilling's going to try a spin back to the inside. Ken stays right with him, goes right with him, collapses him, and when he tries to spin again, I mean, and that's what allows Miller to get to that side. When Swilling spins to the inside, there's no containment on that side.
You know, Dan, I'm really surprised they haven't started doing stunts with the inside-outside man in New Orleans, because they've been doing a number on both Swilling and Jackson.
2nd and 1. Here's Pegram exploiting the hole, getting into New Orleans territory, taking it to the 43, and that is a first down. Let's update a situation in Kansas City. If you watched that game, the great linebacker Derek Thomas was taken to the hospital at halftime with an accelerated heartbeat. It's our understanding that the heartbeat had decelerated by the time he left the stadium. He is in the hospital, but the word is very good. According to Bob Moore of the Chiefs front office, everything is okay. He may be released, or they may keep him in just for a precautionary measure, but they do expect him to play next week. And here's Dukes back in the game for the Falcons.
And Ricky Jackson is inciting the crowd here in the Superdome, asking them to get into it.
From the 43, Miller again avoids the sack and nimbly picks up the first down.
Well, there was a failure of the Saints' inside guys to make a play, because Ricky Jackson collapsed the pocket, forced Miller up, and there was nobody inside to make the play. Jackson did everything he could do. Watch him here against Chris Hinton. He's going to get around the corner. Miller sees him and has to get away from it, but there's nobody inside. Fralick just dispatches Wayne Martin there. And Chris Miller is doing really what he's capable of doing, running with the ball, once to the left, once to the right, both for first down.
Two down linemen for New Orleans from the 32-yard line. Pegram goes nowhere to the 2nd and 10 with 11:45 to go in the third, and the Saints on top 13-10. Jackson and Phillipsy in on the tackle.
Could have been a change at the line of scrimmage. Jackson again on the stop, but there are 2 down linemen in and 3 linebackers, and the rest are defensive backs. And here's Pegram trying to get to the outside, and Jackson was right there, and he gets a lot of help.
Some guys wave at the crowd and then have a running back run by them. Some guys wave at the crowd, ask them to get into it, and then take the situation into their own hands. That's what Ricky Jackson does. A lot more than talk with this guy. Lots of action.
2nd and 10 at the 32. Blitz. Pritchard has it over the middle. Pritchard takes it down to the 20. Atkins was coming from the outside, opening over the middle, and it's exploited by Miller to Pritchard for a first down at the 20.
Oh, and a good read by Chris Miller to Mike Pritchard. The blitz was coming. 2 down linemen. They picked them up. They picked up the linebackers, and they were right in sync, Pritchard and Miller.
Last 4 meetings here, as you can see, all of them close, including the overtime game won by the Falcons in November.
We appear to be headed in that same direction right now. Falcons have nudged the ball inside the 20.
Opening drive of the second half. Saints on top 13-10. First down at the 20. Miller avoids Jackson, then throws. It's juggled, and it is caught by Jason Phillips.
Ooh, I didn't think he had it from this angle over here before he went out of bounds.
Guaranteed second look at this one.
I'm sure we'll have another look at this with the replay. Did he have both feet in bounds? Now, Jason Phillips, the 5'7" receiver, Plan B player out of Detroit. And Miller chased out of the pocket and way inside with Wayne Martin. He has the luxury of time, fires it. Now he's bobbling it right here. When does he put it away? Does he get the right foot down?
I don't think that's a catch. I don't think that's a catch. I think they'll overturn that.
Jack Petty is the replay official.
No one had a better look at it than Jerry Glanville. He was standing right on the sideline.
I don't think that's a catch.
Ruling on the play as a completed pass. Last play is under review.
Yes, as well it should be, and I'll be very surprised if it isn't overturned.
And quickly.
Again, one more look at Jason Phillips. He does not have control of the ball. There he has control of the ball. The left is down. The right is out of bounds. I think that's very decisive.
And very conclusive.
Well, one of the things about being
After further review, we've got a reversal.
Yeah.
Incomplete pass. Brings up second down.
Let's watch another part of the play. Let's watch two old pros go at it, and two Pro Bowlers, Bill Fralick and Ricky Jackson. Watch Fralick, 79. He's working against Ricky Jackson. Here comes Jackson to the inside. Fralick is locked up with another guy, and he kicks out his left leg and tricks Ricky Jackson. That is a penalty. You are not allowed to trip another player.
Have you
that
ever
is
done
also real smart.
Did you ever do that?
All the time.
I thought so.
Darn right, because it's almost impossible for an official to see it.
2nd and 10 at the 20-yard line. Lost it into the end zone for Haynes, and it is a touchdown. Michael Haynes.
Michael Haynes with the great speed. He doesn't look like he is moving as rapidly as he is. He's a 4.29 sprinter, great 100-meter sprinter. Olympic trials in '88, and he just blew by Reginald Jones, and a beautifully thrown timing pass by Chris Miller. That's Jones right up in his face. He's going to have help to the inside, but he tries to play him a little bump and run here, and that ball thrown in there perfect. There's the help getting over there in the form of 29 Vincey Glenn. Glenn was late, and Reginald Jones just did not stay with the speedy Michael Haynes.
But what a great job by Haynes of holding on to the ball and taking that hit by Glenn, because if that ball would have come out, that would not have been a catch. He's got to come down and demonstrate possession. That was just superlative on the part of Michael Haynes,
who helped slay the Saints during the regular season with a couple of big plays. And right now, he has given Atlanta the lead.
Washington meets Michigan in the Rose Bowl, New Year's Day on ABC Sports.
Just when we started winning, I ended up wrenching my knee. For pain as bad as this, I used to take aspirin or Tylenol. But today, I take Advil. When my body really aches, Advil is my first choice. You know, doctors recommend Advil most for sprains and strains. Advil relieves my pain, yet it's gentler to my stomach than aspirin. For me, Advil is the way to go. Advil, tablets and caplets, advanced medicine for pain.
Ford trucks, the best ever ran. Ford trucks.
First compact truck in America was an import, remember? Uh-huh. And then along came Ford Ranger. Now the best-selling compact pickup 5 years running. Ranger offers 4-liter power, push-button 4-wheel drive. Technology the imports can't match.
Mm-hmm.
So who sent who back to the drawing board this time?
More people are driving the best-built, best-selling American trucks than ever before.
I have Denorex on this side. As soon as I put Denorex on my hair, I felt like the itch was going away.
What does the Denorex tingle tell you?
The tingle feels like it's taken away the dandruff.
Extra-strength Denorex with conditioners has strong medicine to fight dandruff and its itch, plus conditioners to leave hair healthy-looking and manageable.
The Denorex tingle tells me it works, and I see that it works. I have no dandruff, and I have no itch.
Denorex with conditioners, the dandruff shampoo you can feel working.
Here's Chris Miller, and at this moment, Michael Haynes is even with Reggie Jones, the cornerback, and now he blows by Miller with a great shot. Now watch the blow by Vincey Glenn, and for the receiver, he knows he's going to get hit. That was a great effort on the part of Haynes to hold on to it, but he knew he was going to get hit. Once that ball was in there, he just clutched it to the chest, took the shot, and he's a little woozy on the sideline.
Norm Johnson kicks off. A bouncer downed in the end zone by McAfee. And we have 9:52 remaining in the third quarter with the Falcons on top 5-4.
Oliver Stone really has a lot of guts to say what a lot of people have felt for many, many years.
The most talked about movie in America is JFK.
I thought it was awesome. I think it was the best movie I've seen all year.
Powerful.
Compelling.
Riveting.
Provocative.
It was absolutely incredible. I'm pretty speechless.
Some of the best movie making I've seen.
And I think it will go down in history as a major film.
Kevin Costner in an Oliver Stone film.
This was absolutely phenomenal.
JFK, rated R, now playing.
My dad had ulcers. So when my stomach started acting up, I was afraid to go to the doctor. But finally, I went. Was I relieved when my doctor said Mylanta? He said it was indigestion, not an ulcer, and my kind of indigestion called for a strong medicine.
Mylanta is strong medicine, strongly recommended. In fact, Mylanta is the antacid doctors recommend most.
My doctor said Mylanta.
How do you change the best-built full-size pickup in America? You painstakingly reshape the exterior until it's more refined. Make the instrument panel more user-friendly. The available power controls easier to reach. And you redesign the interior for unexpected comfort.
The best never rest.
How did we change the full-size Ford pickup? Very carefully. More people are driving the best-built, best-selling American trucks than ever before.
It matters where you get your news.
Now.
From the world headquarters of ABC News overnight. Watch ABC's World News now, beginning January 6th.
When you think of great receiving combinations in the NFL, coming to mind, of course, Rice and Taylor in San Francisco, Cooper and Clayton in Miami, and now that Atlanta is finally getting a chance to appear in games, national telecasts, playoff games, Haynes and Rison. Keep them in mind.
And these two are babies. I mean, they are just kids. They're going to be on this scene for a long time.
Boy, do they complement each other.
First down from the 20-yard line as McAfee takes it out to the 24. This is the first time the Saints have had the ball in the second half. Mo Gardner makes the tackle. We have 9:40 remaining in the third quarter. If Atlanta wins, they will go to Washington next week because Atlanta would be the 6th and final seed in the playoffs in the NFC. If the Saints win as the 3rd seed, they would go to Detroit next week. Detroit is the 2nd seed.
Last words we had from Jerry Glanville. I'll see you in RFK Stadium. I'll leave tickets for you.
We said we'll take them. 2nd and 6 from the 24.
I doubt Glanville can get tickets at RFK.
Only for Elvis.
Here's McAfee again, and he picks up 3, gets it out to the 27-yard line, and that's going to set up a 3rd and 3. Tim Green is at the bottom of the pile. Well, they're not going to win a spelling bee, I know that.
Well, all you kids out there, don't pay attention to the middle of that.
For anyone who might not know, that's the reference to the fact that Jerry Glanville over the years has left tickets for a lot of strange dudes. Of course, he makes sure everyone knows about it, and for a long time, he left tickets for Elvis. He is something.
3rd and 3 at the 27-yard line. Hebert. And he hits Wesley Carroll, and the rookie having a big day, takes it to the 39-yard line, and a Saint first down.
There's a Saint regular. That guy is Mardi Gras all year round. That's a good pass by Bobby Hebert. Good conservative across the middle, keep a drive alive type of pass. And it is time for the Saints, who haven't played offense for a long time, to run a little clock. Go ahead, chew up some yardage, get some points out of this drive if they can, but their defense was on the field for a long time.
They excel at using the clock. They're always up near the top of the league in time of possession. Hebert on first down, buys time, throws, and the pass is incomplete. Quinn Early had it, couldn't hold on. It might have been tipped at second down.
Now, boy, did Deion Sanders have a chance to pull the trigger on Quinn Early.
Deion will play.
He'll let it go.
He'll play to be around here another day.
Yeah. Deion, I think, takes the attitude that I'm not a Clydesdale. You're not going to see me pulling a wagon. A great football player, Deion Sanders.
I don't think I've ever seen one that quick. You'll see the shot that he could have taken on Quinn Early. No, guys.
That's all right. I'll pass that one up.
That's Floyd Turner now lining up in the backfield, number 88. They send him in motion as the play clock ticks down. Hebert on 2nd and 10, throws, and it's a beautiful pass caught by Turner just before he goes out of bounds. First down.
And Hebert released it just before he went down. He threw that ball. Turner hadn't even looked back when he released it. He had to throw the ball, had to get rid of it, and I'm sure he didn't see it caught.
That's another blitzing opportunity. There comes Scott Case. Jesse Tuggle comes on the blitz as well, and the Saints make the adjustment. It is just tremendous pressure on the cornerbacks and all the guys in the secondary when you're going to blitz, and blitz as much as the Falcons do. If the receivers and the quarterback are in sync, you're going to see a lot of big plays against them.
First and 10 at the Atlanta 47-yard line. Here's Dalton Hilliard. Gain of 3 to the 44 as the clock ticks down to 7 minutes remaining in the third quarter. The Falcons on top 17-13.
What did Jerry Glanville say? In that first game when we got beat 27-6, we played normal football. We didn't play our kind of football. In the second game when we won in overtime 23-20, we played Falcon football. If they blocked with 5, we brought 6. If they blocked 6, we brought 7. And we have not really seen that today. They have not been outrageous in coming with the blitz. They use the blitz very judiciously, and probably because New Orleans throws high percentage stuff, and they can really get killed when they do blitz.
Second and 7 from the 44. Toss to McAfee. He gets to the 41-yard line. That's McKyer coming up to make the tackle. 4 yards short of the first down, and McKyer yet to arrive.
Oh, and that was our friend Mr. Tuggle that came all the way over there and put a pretty good shot on the ball carrier. Risen was low. Tuggle was high. I mean, McKyer was low.
Tuggle might have got
Tuggle was
McKyer.
high.
Tuggle came across to put the hit on. He might have got McKyer. 22 is McKyer, and he stays on the carpet. And they're looking at McKyer.
There was a time when aerodynamic design and agile handling would have been unheard of in a car this roomy. A time when a V8 that's more powerful and more efficient would have been simply inconceivable. But that was then, and this is now. The new Ford Crown Victoria. Have you ever wished the traditional could become the exceptional? Have you driven a Ford lately?
When it comes to making batteries that last, somebody's in high gear. Today's Duracell batteries can even outperform the ones we made just a few years back. You can't top the Copper Top.
The most entertaining and exciting American movie of the year is Bugsy, says New York Magazine.
Did you think you could steal from me?
Beatty and Benning tear up the screen. Bugsy, rated R, now playing at a theater near you.
She'll be crushed. But I need my space, my freedom. Just tell her.
Bob, I think we should see other people.
What?
Why don't you know what you've got till it's gone?
But we're so perfect.
Why ask why? Try Bud Dry. It's dry brew, not watered down.
She'll be back.
To drink light, yet satisfy completely. So while love isn't easy,
I'll give you one more chance.
refreshment is.
The excitement, the action, and the moves. From the field to the stands, the fun of the World League returns in March on ABC Sports.
Tim McKyer helped off the field. No stranger, of course, to postseason play with the 49ers and then with the Dolphins and now with the Falcons. Bobby Butler spells him. It's 3rd down and 4. And it's a first down as Quinn Early makes the catch and takes it to the 33. Early, the plan B pickup from San Diego, tackled by Butler.
Didn't take long to go right at Bobby Butler. Butler had some great years as a starter. First-round draft pick, one of 13 that started out on the roster. Only 11 now, first-round picks that are active on this roster. But Butler's best years are behind him, although he plays a fine nickel and dime for the Atlanta Falcons and a big contributor. But if you get him isolated out there, you can beat him, and that's exactly what New Orleans will probably try to do.
Double slot to the left on first down from the 33. Now they send the tight end Tice in motion. The fake to Hilliard, and look out, and for the first time today, Hebert gets sacked. Big, number 99. Well, we say big. He's really an undersized defensive end, but he looked pretty big to Hebert right there. Tim Green.
Boy, he just knifes right across the middle on a stunt. Crosses the face of Joel Hilgenberg, the center. That is freeze stuff that they're putting on the back of Tim McKyer. That's liquid cold, and he's trying to deaden the area. Look at Tim Green, 99, slice to the left. Boy, and Hebert just has absolutely no place to go. An unavoidable sack, and the first major blow in the middle by the New Orleans offensive line. Tim Green just swarms Bobby Hebert, and a big play, too, that pushes him well back beyond the 40.
2nd and 18 from the 41, and they just get the play off. Hebert over the middle into traffic, and Martin pays the price as he gets knocked down by Tuggle and Tippins. And it will be 3rd down and 12 coming up.
Well, you hit it right on the head, Al. Martin has paid the price for 5 straight years. He works inside. Maybe he's not as gifted as some of the great receivers in the league, but he will catch the football knowing full well he's going to take a hammering and a pounding. And he knew exactly what was going to happen there. Good effort.
Spot the ball at the 34. 3rd and 12 for the Saints. Hebert from the gun. Bobby to throw. They have to get to the 23 to convert, and they do on the catch at the 22 by Quinn Early.
Boy, what a great acquisition Quinn Early has turned out to be. Plan B from San Diego, and Bobby Hebert splitting defenders, firing it in right in front of Bobby Butler, and Bobby's going to be a busy defensive back for the rest of this game. They're going to look for him. No question about that.
Boy, he got popped right in the face by Brian Mitchell, the Falcon defensive back, and Early obviously hurt as he heads for the bench. But again, another good example. We saw Michael Haynes do it in the end zone with a touchdown. There we saw at that time a receiver taking a great shot and holding on to the ball.
Floyd Turner in motion. Nothing doing through the middle for Hilliard, who picks up just 1, taking it to the 21 with 3 minutes remaining in the 3rd quarter, and they continue to work on Tim McKyer.
And now it looks like McKyer's cramping up. Well, they're going to try to stretch out that hip lower back area that's looks to be in some sort of spasms right now.
Well, anyone's ever had a lower back problem knows exactly what they're doing. Yeah, that's the one that you loosen up with every morning if you live with one. And meanwhile, they're trying to check area codes with Quinn Early.
2nd and 9 at the 21. Falcons ahead 17-13, late 3rd quarter. Hebert just dumps it off, and it's incomplete. And Hebert goes down, and a flag goes down well after the play.
Well after the play is exactly right.
So Hebert very slow getting up, but still in pain.
Howard Rowe refereeing his first postseason game.
Intentional grounding. Loss of down. 10-yard penalty. Brings up 3rd down.
Jim Mora wants to talk to the referee. He wants Howard Rowe to come over, and Hebert is incensed as well. Again, the rule states quite simply, if the quarterback throws the football with the intent of avoiding a sack, and Jim Mora can ask all he wants, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure that he's going to get an audience with Howard Rowe.
Hebert was pointing at Brenner, but Brenner is clearly in pass protection here.
And you know what? It's hard to argue with the call. Bobby Hebert was going to be sacked, and he dumped the football, and that is the rule. And if the referee chooses to interpret it literally, the flag has to be thrown.
There was no receiver in the area.
It was a good call. 3rd and 18 at the 31-yard line. 4-man rush. Hebert fires to the 20, and it's a flag comes in as Brian Mitchell is flagged for interference.
Mitchell just got that arm in there a little early. Watch his left arm as he comes in. There's no question about this one either. He cannot make contact. Fighting through the receiver to the ball, and watch the left arm. He's got it draped around him before the ball ever gets in.
Well, and it not only his arm, but it appeared that his chest and torso had made contact well before the ball got there.
Again, that's a great effort on the part of Hebert. Lost in the call and the flag and the penalty is the fact that Hebert...
Defensive pass interference. 1st down.
Yeah, that pass rush was all over him and still managed to get rid of the ball.
That was a much better look at it right there, where you could see the body contact made by Mitchell on Martin. So back-to-back penalties, one on the Saints, then the follow-up on the Falcons. pretty much have evened things out.
It turns a 3rd and 18 into a 1st and 10 at the 19. 2:21 remaining in the 3rd quarter. Atlanta on top 17-13.
And Jim Mora appears to be aging before our very eyes. Playoff football will do that to you.
On 1st and 10. Long count by Hebert. Play clock is down to 2.
Well, he changed it.
Hilliard, and he gets wrestled down by Ken Tippins for a loss back at the 22-yard line, a loss of 3.
You know, Al, a lot of people don't understand how valuable a Deion Sanders is. That was a change off to a fade route to Eric Martin. Deion Sanders was all over Martin. Hebert couldn't go into the end zone with it, had to dump it off, and so there's a loss of 2 yards, and it could really be credited to Deion Sanders. He had perfect coverage on Eric Martin, and that's where Hebert wanted to go. Yeah, I've come full cycle on him 3 years ago. You just really wondered when we watched him at Florida State in their game against Auburn that he has turned into a great cornerback.
2nd and 12. Each team's had the ball just once in this quarter. Here's McAfee, who runs right through Donaldson and takes it down to the 13-yard line, where it's going to be 3rd and 5 with a minute and a half to play in the period.
Boy, the big boys came to play today, didn't they? I mean, these are two teams that aren't shy about contact, and they appear to be reveling in it here this afternoon. Watch the power of McAfee. Donaldson makes a mistake, tries to take him high, and McAfee just goes right through Jeff Donaldson. And these guys, as we used to say, are poking and stroking. They are hammering each other.
McKier's back in. Quinn Early is back in. It's Lourdes at the moment.
I'll tell you, there's no tomorrow. If you can drag it out there, you drag it out.
3rd and 5. Hebert losing one, and it is incomplete. Turner almost came up with it. McKier with the coverage. They went right to McKier.
I really wonder if they knew that Bobby Butler had gone out of the lineup. They came over with the fade pass, and it was perfectly covered by McKier.
Yeah, but McKier has been on the sidelines nursing that bad back, so what better way to find out if he's all the way back into it?
Well, he played it well.
Sure did.
And even then, it was almost caught by Turner.
31-yard field goal attempt for Morton Anderson. Barnhart to hold. They're spotted at the 21-yard line. Atlanta jumps, flags are down, there's no play.
Watch out, because if Jesse Tuggle was across the line, this will be a New Orleans first down.
Very close to it.
Or Rilkitz. They appear to be about exactly 5 yards from a first down.
They usually use that yard marker fairly accurate, and it looks like it would be a first down if it's 5 against Atlanta.
Prior to the snap, we've got contact and encroachment, number 58 Houston. 5-yard penalty.
Well, it's a 5-yard penalty. It might be enough for a first down. By the way, they are not taking any points off the board. There was no play. This play was over before Anderson ever kicked it.
You see, the key was when you heard Howard Rose say contact before the snap. That means, just as Al said, it never existed. But the spotting of this football now is going to be crucial, and it is a New Orleans first down. What a huge mistake.
And what a blow for Jerry Glanville. He started out as a special teams coach. Wherever he was, the special teams provided a lot of the emphasis for winning, and they've been good this year, but they've made a couple of major errors today, and there is a big time there as April, the special teams coach, obviously concerned.
First and goal, just inside the 9. 41 seconds left in the third. Falcons up by 4. McAfee behind Jordan. Takes it to the 4-yard line. Stopped by Tuggle.
No greater incentive than to be the guy who made a mistake. No use keeping your head down. Come back and make a play, and that's what Jesse Tuggle does right here. Look at the pursuit. Has to go around his own man, gives some ground, but then still musters up enough to get in there on McAfee.
And that's still good running by McAfee. He gets almost 4 yards out of it.
Yeah, Tuggle had to give some ground to get around Tippins, but still makes the play.
End of the third quarter. This one has been a beauty. Atlanta 17, New Orleans 13 will return with our wild card playoff game after this word from our ABC station.
Saturday, a cat in a cage, a nun with a gun.
Ever seen anything like that?
And a lady in love.
When I'm around you, I feel things.
Make it an exciting holiday weekend.
Good luck, boss.
With an all-new Young Writers, Saturday at 9, 8 Central.
I'm Sam Donaldson, wishing you all the best this holiday season.
From our family at Prime Time to yours, best wishes for happy holidays.
If you're looking for a way to beat those old car blues, your Isuzu dealer's got the right Isuzu for you.
It's your last chance for the year-end clearance on selected 91 Isuzu cars and trucks, like the Isuzu Rodeo 4x4 with rear-wheel anti-lock brakes standard. Clearance ends December 31st.
Info stylish pickup trooper, rodeos too. Your Isuzu dealer's got the right Isuzu for you.
Hurry, factory-to-dealer incentives end December 31st. See your local Isuzu dealer.
At Play It Again Sport, our used weights are in very good condition. After all, the previous owner cleaned and pressed them every day. Play It Again Sports, sports equipment that's used, but not used up. At Play It Again Sports, we admit that some of our used sports equipment has gone downhill. Play It Again Sports, sports equipment that's used, but not used up.
Taking a moment today could mean a cure for tomorrow.
This has been almost a 10-minute drive to this point for the Saints. Atlanta took the ball to start the third quarter, scored. The Saints had the ball for the rest of the period. As we start the fourth quarter, it is 2nd and goal for the Saints at the Atlanta 3-yard line. Falcons on top 17-13. Al Michaels, Frank Gifford, Dan Deerdorf. 15 minutes left in regulation.
Hobie Brenner hasn't been a part of this game yet. Good spot for your tight end.
On 2nd and goal, McAfee takes it down to the 1. Tough runner. Scott Case makes the tackle.
Again, he's not that big. 190-pounder, 5'10". He runs like a much bigger man. In the second game that led to the overtime win by Atlanta, he made a key fumble. And they came right back with the rookie. And he's been their main man in the running game.
3rd and goal at the 1. Dalton Hilliard is in the backfield. With Jordan offset. Tice in motion. They give it to Hilliard. Touchdown Saints.
If you've never been to a pro football game, this is why people are in the seats. Because it's fun to be in a place like this when your team's winning. And that's what that touchdown by Dalton Hilliard did for the Saints of New Orleans. Gave them a 2-point lead.
Hilliard takes it in. He had a 65-yard touchdown in the first Atlanta game. Gets a big one here.
Anderson for the point after.
Make it a 3-point lead.
They're in their seats and they're out of their seats. They're standing at the Superdome. The Saints have never won a postseason game. They lead by 3.
Ford Trucks, the best ever red. Ford Trucks.
Look, we already make the world's best-selling trucks. But we made our 92 Ford full-size pickup even better with a new design, new interior, new instrument panel, new available power lumbar seats.
But there's one thing that'll never change. It's still built Ford tough.
More people are driving the best-built, best-selling American trucks than ever before.
Fortunately, my heart attack wasn't the end of the world. It was kind of a beginning. To help prevent a second attack, my doctor prescribed exercise, eating right, and Therapy Bear Enteric Aspirin. Enteric means it's safety-coated to help protect your stomach, because it doesn't dissolve in your stomach. I asked my doctor if this regimen with Therapy Bear Enteric would really make a difference down the road. That's why I'm doing it myself, he said.
Therapy Bear Enteric Aspirin. Take it from your doctor.
Spanning the globe to bring you the constant variety of sport. The thrill of victory and the agony of defeat.
Look out! Look at him go!
Still going. Nothing outlasts the Energizer. They keep going and going.
14-10 remaining in regulation. 20-17 Saints. That drive lapping over into the fourth quarter. 10:49. They began at their 20. Terry Glanville, he said, we're like an NBA team. We just want the last shot at the end of the game.
You know, they make a lot of big plays, and teams that make big plays, like the Raiders, they make a lot of mistakes also. Tunkel offside, he's trying to block the field goal. And they ultimately wind up with the touchdown. But teams that make the big plays will also make the mistakes. They'll hurt themselves, but they keep coming back, and they'll be there at the end.
I wouldn't kick this to Sanders. I wouldn't give him a chance.
He doesn't get it, but he does on the lateral from Jordan. And he only gets it back to the 20-yard line. And Bobby April looks dismayed as they'll begin from the 21. And we take a look at the numbers after 3 quarters when we return to the Superdome in New Orleans, where the Saints lead by 3.
The reinvention of the Ford Escort added a new level of design and performance to small cars. And now, we've added a new, more sophisticated Ford Escort. Introducing the new 4-door Ford Escort LX sedan, a car designed to offer exceptional value and quality, and even the power of the GT, but with a style all its own. Have you wanted a style all your own? Have you driven a Ford lately?
If you went this side or that side, which one? Which one? Yeah, this side. That's wrong. You got to go that side.
At the end of Sanders' run back, there was an unsportsmanlike penalty assessed against New Orleans, a 15-yarder, and that means Atlanta gets it at the 36 instead of the 21. He never named a Saint. He didn't name the individual, but it's a 15-yard penalty against New Orleans.
Yeah, and it wasn't involved with Sanders himself. Wasn't a late hit or anything, so that's our way of saying we're in the dark about it.
1st and 10. Atlanta from the 36.
And listen to this crowd.
Miller finds the open man. That's Pritchard. Nice move for the rookie from Colorado. He takes it across the 50 to the Saint 49-yard line. And we'll take a look at the numbers through the first 3 quarters of play.
Time of possession. Lopsided, of course, in favor of the Saints, but slowly and surely, Atlanta is creeping back into the picture in terms of yardage. But they are a big team play. This doesn't really reflect what they can do. They look for the big play. They have the one wide receiver alone that has 10 plays, and Michael Haynes of over 40 yards. You don't judge the Atlanta team by numbers.
First down, Falcons at the Saints 49. 13-15 to play in regulation. Saints up by 3. Pegram to the 45-yard line. He is stopped by Swilling. We mentioned that the Saints are looking for their first ever postseason win. In Atlanta's 26-year history, they have won 1 postseason game. They beat Philadelphia in 1978 in a game in which they trailed 13-0, and Steve Bartkowski threw 2 touchdown passes in the last 5 minutes, and Glanville was an assistant coach on that team.
And Ricky Jackson has beseeched the crowd for noise, and you could actually see our sideline cameras shaking. These are not portable stands. This is a stationary building with shaking.
2nd and 6. Miller throws. Low throw. Is it caught? Yes, it is. Somehow, some way, at least ruled on the field a catch by Floyd Dixon. It'll be 2 yards short of the first down at the 41-yard line.
Floyd Dixon getting the single coverage and getting the coverage from the safeties. And getting less attention than Andre Rison and Michael Haynes, and consequently he has been a target for Chris Miller.
Fasten your seatbelts, guys.
Just keep in mind, if you're Chris Miller, you look at a defense and you want to change the play, no way you can do it. That's the advantage of this home field here in New Orleans.
3rd and 2 at the 41-yard line with Rison in motion. They try it on the ground. The rookie Pegram, enough for a first down. He takes it to the 37-yard line. Stopped by Gene Atkins.
I don't know that I've been in a football stadium for a lot of years where I've heard noise like I've heard the last 2 plays. Incredible.
And right now they're catching the breath, and they'll be back in a moment.
Yeah. Well, I can see where that'll tire you out.
Here they go.
Bill Fralick is out of the game at right guard, and he's replaced by Mike Ruther. First down from the 37-yard line. 4-man rush. Miller going deep, looking for Haynes, but he throws it out of bounds, and Haynes was blanketed by Milton Mack. Never got free. 2nd down.
Mack also getting help from the inside. Brett Maxey back there with him. Good coverage. Again, Chris Miller locked in on the speedy Michael Haynes, as well he should. He's been the big play man all year for them, and a little work there with the hand by Milton Mack. But Milton Mack knew he had help on the inside, so he was in pretty good shape.
There's Fralick, who is shaken up, as we said. Ruther now in at right guard. Earlier, he spelled Jamie Duke at center. 2nd and 10. Here's Pegram. Nowhere to run. Nowhere to hide. Swilling and Warren are there at the 39.
Well, you think the last couple of plays were noisy. Wait till they strap on this 3rd down and long situation. And a key play here for the Falcons. They need more yardage to get into field goal range. I think they're outside right now. They need another 8 or 10 yards.
At least that. Yep. For a viable option for the field goal with Norm Johnson.
3rd and 12 at the 39.
Listen to this.
They have to get to the 27 to convert. Miller throws, and he picks up the first down as the catch is made at the 20-yard line by George Thomas. A receiver who was hurt last week. Rehab, came back, 3rd-year man out of the University of Nevada, Las Vegas, makes a very big catch for a conversion.
These are ankle. They didn't know he was going to be able to go.
These are slow-developing patterns, Frank. Again, it was all based on tremendous pass protection for Chris Miller, who went from the 1st to the 2nd to the 3rd guy. I mean,
Miller reading the right receiver. Now, he's in a little bit of of a panic here as he moves in, steps into the pocket, pulls it down, and delivers that ball right on target to Thomas.
Thomas's first catch of the day. He was in because Haynes was out on the last play, and the throw here is incomplete, intended for Thomas. So Haynes is on the Atlanta sideline, their big play guy, and Thomas has come in his stead.
You really can't blame Thomas for not catching that ball. That's a ball he could have easily caught if he would have stepped out of bounds. He knew exactly where he was, tried to keep his feet in bounds, and the ball was just thrown too far outside.
There's Haynes there looking at him. And remember the touchdown pass he caught earlier? And he took the tremendous shot from Vincey Glenn. Well, he is, I think, still recovering from that. He was woozy after that play. He's been in and out of the lineup, and now they're looking at him again.
And Chris Miller just starts wandering towards the Falcons sideline.
It's a timeout on the Saints. The Saints take the timeout here on 2nd and 10 at the 20. 8:59 left in regulation.
You may not have believed an American luxury sedan could challenge the world's best. The new Cadillac Seville STS. Winner of Automobile Magazine's Automobile of the Year, and one of Car and Driver Magazine's 10 best cars in the world. The Cadillac Seville STS. There's never been a car so acclaimed it could change the way you think about American automobiles.
Your biggest competitor is working on a proposal for the same job you're after.
You want this to be enlarged?
They have about the same ideas you do.
Copy this slide.
The only difference is...
Let's print it.
They own a Canon color laser copier, and you don't. Who would you give the job to? If you think you can't afford a Canon color laser copier, maybe you can't afford to be without one. Call 1-800-OK-CANON.
For the American celebration.
Undefeated Washington goes after the national crown when they meet Heisman winner Desmond Howard and Big Ten champ Michigan. It's the Rose Bowl, New Year's Day on ABC Sports.
Here's why the Saints had to take a timeout. Vincey Glenn will move out of the way, and there is Mark Lee trying to get his shoe back on. He's trying to get the double knot out of it, and with the cornerback situation on the Saints, they were in no position to bring in somebody else, so they had to take the timeout. And of course, they're all aware of the fact that Michael Haynes has re-entered the Atlanta lineup, their big play guy.
2nd and 10. Falcons at the 28:59 to play in regulation. New Orleans leads by 3. Miller, and Frank Warren gets him by the shirt and sacks him at the 25.
What a great play by Frank Warren. He just explodes off the ball.
Right now you're looking at, if there is an incomplete pass or no gain on this play, you're looking at about a 47-yard field goal. Take a look at Warren.
Chris Hinton, the right tackle, is preoccupied with Ricky Jackson. When Ricky Jackson loops back to the inside, Warren was already on his shoulder and he couldn't do anything about it. Excellent by Warren.
3rd and 15 at the 25-yard line. Pritchard in motion. Miller throws to the 18, and that's going to make it easier for Norm Johnson as the catch is made by Pritchard at about the 19-yard line. So that's going to set up about a 36-yard field goal attempt for Norm Johnson, who, as we mentioned, has been perfect this year from inside 45.
That'll be one of those completions that when you look at it in comparison to all the others will be insignificant and just disappear. But ask Norm Johnson how important it is.
36 yards. He made a 44-yarder earlier. this to tie the game.
And the
20.
And the crowd reaction tells you whether that was good or bad. And Mr. April on the sidelines congratulates everybody. An extremely effective drive by the Atlanta Falcons. They were trailing by 3. They took it in bits and pieces, but it was all said and done. It had added up to 3 points in a tie game.
Fresh taste that will fill you up and never let you down. Bud Light delivers.
When the time comes that you need a hand with life insurance, let your Allstate agent work it out on paper, starting with your house and a policy to protect your mortgage. Of course, if your family's already filled out, your agent can help you fashion a plan for a college fund or for a retirement that promises nothing but smooth sailing. So let your Allstate agent be your agent for life. Allstate Life, financial strength you can count on.
You may not have believed an American luxury sedan could challenge the world's best. The new Cadillac Seville STS. Winner of Automobile Magazine's Automobile of the Year and one of Car and Driver Magazine's 10 best cars in the world. The Cadillac Seville STS. There's never been a car so acclaimed it could change the way you think about American automobiles.
The excitement, the action, and the moves. From the field to the stands, the fun of the World League returns in March on ABC Sports.
The Superdome in New Orleans, where the score couldn't be closer. It's 20-20. And in terms of total yards, well, it's about as close as it gets because there's a difference of only 2 yards as the Falcons, after their last scoring drive, results in a field goal tie the game. The Saints have gained 2 more yards than the Falcons. Johnson's kick is downed after some hesitation by McAfee in the end zone. They'll take it at the 20-yard line. We have college football tomorrow. It is the Dogs and the Hogs. Georgia, Arkansas, Poland, Weed Eater, Independence Bowl tomorrow, 2:30 Eastern. Then, triple header Wednesday. Cal, Clemson in the Florida Citrus Bowl at 1:30 Eastern, 10:30 a.m. Pacific. The big game of the day, the Rose Bowl. It's a beauty. Washington against Michigan. Desmond Howard, of course, the Heisman Trophy winner for Michigan. And then we'll wrap it up with the Sugar Bowl from here at the Superdome as the Notre Dame Fighting Irish come in against the 3rd-ranked Florida Gators.
A lot of jambalaya between now and then.
First down, Saints at the 20, 7:36 left in regulation. Take to McAfee. Hebert has it tipped and incomplete. It was nearly caught after it was tipped by Turner. Case got a hand on it. Second down.
Getting into an area of time remaining in this game where you could call it the Morton Anderson factor. He is a great kicker. He kicked one earlier in the year of 60 yards. 18 career field goals of over 50 yards. And as you can see, getting that hand up there is Scott Case.
Boy, and more often than not, when a defensive back hits the ball like that and it goes up into the air, more often than not, it's either caught by a receiver or caught by a defensive back for an interception. That was very fortunate for the Saints that that dropped harmlessly.
Second and 10 at the 20-yard line. Falcons showed a 7-man front. Hebert throws it over the middle of the tight end tight, and he has a first down. Gets to the 33-yard line.
The old trapdoor got him, Frank.
That's nice. Good receiver, and as you pointed out earlier, they have not used their tight ends much today. Either Hobie Brenner and John Tice. He's the leading receiver at that tight end position, and you're right. He just caught the toe in the turf, and down he went. He could have got another 6 or 7 yards out of that.
That's where the players say that somebody opened a trap door and grabbed him as he was running by, because it wasn't anybody on the other team.
Boom. He sprawls for about 5.
Not a player's favorite moment.
First down at the 33. Wainwright in motion. Out of a 3 tight end set. McAfee fumbles. Atlanta has it. And Robert Lyles recovers. And as stated before, McAfee with a fumble in the regular season game that led to New Orleans losing that one here in the Superdome to the Saints.
Oh, you hate to lay deja vu on you from New Orleans, but we talked about it earlier. He had a critical fumble in the overtime loss 5 weeks ago to Atlanta, and he coughs it up again right here.
What a major play by the Illinois rookie, Mo Gardner. Boy, he just goes right around the center and gets in there and creates that fumble. Boy, this is just a big-time play by a rookie.
He gets that carrying that so loosely. We can see that again. There's no way you should be carrying that football as loose as he was carrying it as he was turning back into the line of scrimmage. He just had it by the hand. He didn't have it tucked away at all and came out easily when Mo Gardner got that hand in there.
First and 10 at the 30-yard line. 6:35 left in regulation. Miller fires over the middle. It's incomplete. Threw a bullet intended for Pritchard at the 20-yard line. Second down.
I think, in all honesty, Chris Miller just drilled that into the carpet. He wants to protect it down here. Jerry Glanville showing a lot of confidence in Miller and his ability to keep from turning over the football. He knows the coverage is there. He just drills it into the carpet.
It is second down and 10 at the 30-yard line.
Big load now put on the New Orleans defense.
Miller fires to the outside. It's a minimal gain as Risen makes the catch at the 30-yard line. Gene Atkins, who picked off 3 passes last week against Phoenix and had a 4th nullified on an interception, provided the coverage.
There's a completion for absolutely nothing. There's Hemmer, a devoted Saints Falcons fan, rather, who his song Too Legit to Quit has been adopted by the Falcons, and certainly they are portraying that type of mental attitude here this afternoon. They aren't quitting.
What a big play on both sides of the football. And Chris Miller realizes how big it is. Calls timeout, wants to think about it.
We have 6:18 left in regulation. Atlanta 20, New Orleans 20.
It's about style. It's about power. It's about control and the security of standard anti-lock brakes. It's about $12,000. The all-new Grand Am Sport Sedan. Excitement with purpose.
When you're all stuffed up and use an ordinary nasal spray, it drips into your tissue where it can't help you breathe. But not Sinex Ultrafine Mist. Its medicine stays where you need it, so you can breathe the way you want to. We don't drip down, we clear up.
A recent Department of Energy study reveals that most American homes are under-insulated. And that means you. To find out what's right for your home, call Owens Corning at 1-800-GET-PINK.
Imagine a rent-a-car company that offers special delivery right to your door. That's Enterprise.
Here, let me help you.
Enterprise, a special rent-a-car company that gives you special delivery.
When what you eat and drink upsets your stomach, you want a medicine that works directly on your stomach. Pepto-Bismol. As it coats, Pepto delivers powerful medicine right where you hurt.
6:18 left in regulation. The game tied 20-20. The Falcons have the ball at the Saints 29-yard line, 3rd and 9. As we look ahead, each team has 2 timeouts remaining.
Norm Johnson, as we pointed out, the field goal kicker, has not missed from 45 yards in. The question, does Jerry Glanville, who says we live on the edge, does he try to pick up the first down, put more points on the board? Because if he puts 3 up there, he still leaves a lot of time for New Orleans.
Well, he comes up in the red gun, the 4-receiver set. Miller gets sacked, fumbles the ball. It's a scramble at the 37-yard line.
Ken might have got it back.
No signal yet.
Well, Ricky Jackson started all of this, no matter how it ends up. Ricky Jackson again takes matters into his own hands, and you see the signal, 4th down. They're indicating that it's Atlanta's ball.
At the 37 and probably out of field goal range.
I tell you, Ricky Jackson may not go to the Pro Bowl, but he could run for governor down here.
Oh, well, he really could. And you know what? Some players in big games disappear. Some players in big games just take it into their own hands. And Ricky Jackson is one of those players. Watch him come from the corner. He's going to get around Hinton. Hinton was slow coming off the ball. And it was fortunate that Atlanta covered the ball, but this is going to be a major kick here for the Falcons. What is this, 54 yards?
54 yards if Johnson goes through with it. It would match his career long. Scott Fulhaig to hold.
Well, if you're going to try a long field goal, this is the place.
Not even close. Deflected.
Somebody better cover it.
Still loose.
Boy,
covered at the 19-yard line.
The Saints could have, without any chance at all, picked that ball up and taken off with it.
That's about the best thing that can happen to you if your kick gets deflected. I mean, that's a lot better than a true miss, because a true miss comes back to the original line of scrimmage. It was deflected by Les Miller, number 69.
Miller goes 6'7", and he is the key man for their special teams when they try to block the kick.
Rowe and company are going to go over exactly where this ball should be spotted.
Well, the key for the Falcons was that it crossed the line of scrimmage. Once it went beyond the line of scrimmage, it's very much like a punt.
We have a missed field goal. Back to the line of scrimmage. First down.
Well, it doesn't matter then that it was deflected. A missed field goal is the same as a completely missed conversion instead of a tipped attempt here.
Absolutely right. In that sense, it does come back to the line of scrimmage. If it remains behind the line of scrimmage, one of the Falcons could have picked it up and run with it. But the key is in a tie ball game, and as you look at 69, Les Miller block it.
And again, he's 6'7".
No points. It's no points for the Falcons, and not a lot of time left. And it's a ball control offense now of the Saints that takes over.
A lot of time remaining, 5:44, and you just don't want to get too conservative. And in the past, that's been one of the criticisms of New Orleans and Jim Moore, that they get a lead, they set on it, and they get hurt that way.
This is a confusing play. The officials are talking about exactly what the rule is here on a deflected field goal attempt.
Maybe somebody upstairs is thumbing through the pages.
Yeah, it's
play called on the field is correct. First down.
Who first touched it is the key.
The key to all this, though, was the sack by Ricky Jackson.
And so McAfee's fumble does not hurt.
And the genetic situation that made Les Miller 6'7".
First down from the 37-yard line. Hebert's pass is incomplete, but there is a flag. Early was looking for the flag, and the flag came late, but it came. They got to early.
Deion arriving just a little early that time. Ordinarily, he is perfect with his arrival. This time he just gets in and moves in on Quinn early, a little early. You'll see it right here.
The thing about it, though, it's really only about a 7-yard penalty. It was first down anyway, so hardly a disaster for the Falcons. If that had been a third down play or something like that, it would be something you could say really turned the tide, but in the big scheme of things, not all that relevant.
First down at the 44. They have Hilliard in the game in the backfield with Jordan. 5:40 to go in regulation. Hilliard in motion. Hebert on first down hits Hilliard, and he in turn is hit by Jordan after a short gain. He's up to the 45. It'll be second down and 8.
Again, you're a New Orleans Saint. You're thinking ball control, hold on to the football, think of the clock, and remember that you have one of the game's great kickers sitting on the bench, Morton Anderson. Here's Hilliard. He's in there for McAfee. We may not see McAfee again. McAfee fumbling the football that could have been very decisive in this game.
This one a beauty. If Atlanta wins, they go to Washington. If New Orleans wins, they go to Detroit. Loser goes home. 20-20, 4:55 to play in regulation. Hebert on second and 8. Lost one. Nobody is there. Martin, I believe, the intended receiver, but he had broken the pattern off considerably short of where Hebert threw the ball.
You saw Bobby Hebert saying, he was supposed to take it out. He was supposed to take it out.
They call that a sight adjustment. Eric Martin read one coverage. Bobby Hebert, needless to say, read the other coverage. Hebert expecting Martin to continue downfield, and I'm suspecting that Bobby Hebert is right. Quinn Early and Eric Martin were not supposed to be side by side out on the field.
Now to look at Anderson. He had a 60-yarder earlier against the Bears.
Third down and 9 from the 45-yard line. Four-man rush over the middle. Martin has it dislodged. It is incomplete. Hit as the ball got there by Tracy Eaton.
Timed it perfectly. I mean, absolutely perfectly.
If he doesn't make that hit, the New Orleans Saints are in field goal range. Tracy Eaton, a Plan B player from the Cardinals, just putting the major league pop on Eric Martin.
I don't know. I haven't followed Eaton's career and seen every game, but I doubt he's made any bigger than that.
Tommy Barnhart to punt. The dangerous Deion Sanders back at the 16-yard line.
Whoa.
Good deep kick. A little too deep.
Not by much.
Take it to the 20. Let me duck in something. The Chicago Tribune is reporting that Bill Parcells has agreed to take over as the coach of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and he's going to bring Jerry Vanisi with him to become the general manager. That is what the Chicago Tribune is reporting. Unconfirmed.
Well, there's certainly been no doubt that Hugh Culverhouse and his family have been lusting after Bill Parcells for quite some time. Richard Williamson just got fired yesterday, and so the timing was certainly there, and I guess it was a question of money and a question of control and a question of whether or not Bill Parcells wanted to remain at NBC. But again, it's not official yet. It's being reported by the Chicago Tribune.
First it is official. You can bet there are big zeros involved.
First down at the 20-yard line for the Atlanta Falcons. Pegram gets 5 up to the 25, and as the clock winds down, again, each team has 2 timeouts left.
And I guess if you analyze, you have to say that Bill Parcells, the one thing he has wanted was control. The one thing he lacked, even though he was fond of the organization in New York, was the control. With George Young, a fine football man, many people think as good as there is in the game, he nevertheless had the personnel control. And Bill Parcells, if he moves on, is going to be the major man.
Second down and 5 at the 25-yard line. Clock down to 3:45. Miller And it's incomplete up at the 29-yard line. That's Michael Haynes, who they're telling us from the Falcon bench was hurt originally on the very first series of the game, and he's been in and out, and of course he's had a big day.
And earlier when he caught the touchdown pass, he took a tremendous shot from Vincey Glenn, and they worked on him on the bench. So whatever he hurt early in the game, he certainly aggravated on that.
3rd and 5 at the 25-yard line. 3:41 remaining. Out of the red gun, 3 receivers from the left side as Miller looks that way. Miller throws. First down. Andre Rison run out by Gene Atkins up at the 37 with 3:35 to go.
A pattern run an awful lot by the Falcons today, where 3 receivers to one side, 2 of them head downfield, and then the possession pattern run by the inside slot receiver. That's Rison right there. The area cleared out by his 2 men going downfield. Atkins has to cover a lot of distance to get over there. A very safe throw, and it's a pass that 9 out of 10 times is going to be open.
Jim Morrow with a nervous look up at the clock.
Well, we talked about Morton Anderson. Don't forget Norm Johnson. He is no bum. Tremendous year, and it could come down to a Johnson kick.
Jamie Dukes waving to all his friends out there.
Pegram struggles close to the 39-yard line. Gain of, let's call it 1. It'll be 2nd down and 9.
You know, Dan talked earlier about the Atlanta Falcons playing mostly the regional telecast during the course of the season, but this is a pretty good football team. They have a lot of talent. We talked about the 11 number 1 draft picks that are active here tonight out of 13 that they had going into the season. But they also really helped themselves when they made the trade a year ago. They gave up the first pick in the draft, and they got Andre Rison, they got Chris Hinton, and they got Indianapolis number 1 draft pick. Major strides with that trade.
2nd down and 9 at the 39-yard line. Blitz. Haynes makes the catch. Haynes into Saint territory. Michael Haynes, who was born and raised in New Orleans, has just scored a touchdown that may have taken the Saints out of the playoffs.
We talked about his 4.29 speed, and you saw it. He is a blazer.
Michael Haynes, who killed them in the regular season game here. He was the key man in setting up their win. Hammer exults on the sideline, but still 2:41 to go in the suddenly silent Superdome, and you can see the effect of that injury to Haynes as he goes off the field.
Working against Milton Mack. He just left him there.
Yeah, he sure did. Milton Mack right now looking for a place to hide.
And, of course, Milton Mack, one of those backup cornerbacks replacing the 2 injured cornerbacks, Toy Cook and Vince Buck.
Johnson for the point after. Haynes today has caught 6 for 145 yards. He beats Mack here. This one good for 61 yards.
Mack looks a little indecisive after Haynes catches the ball. He doesn't know quite whether to attack him. And when he chose not to attack, it gave Michael Haynes the room to make a move back to the inside. He easily went around Mack, and then nobody on the Saints defense has enough speed to catch him. When you're a cornerback, Frank, and the guy catches the ball in front of you, you can't sit on your haunches and wait for him to come to you. You have to be the aggressor.
You know, again, they've been on regional television more often than not, and that is the 7th game out of 8 games that he's caught touchdown passes. It's his 12th play, I believe, of 40 or more yards. He's had touchdown catches of 75 and 80. He's just a remarkable receiver. And again, it'll tell you how important speed is in this game.
It was 2nd and 9 on that play from the 39-yard line.
What did Glanville tell us yesterday we talked about a while ago? There'll be a couple times during this game where we will appear to be out of it. And they were. And they just keep coming back. And here they have a 7-point lead with 2:41 left.
Courageous effort on the part of Michael Haynes. A very sore shoulder. We didn't know whether he would be back earlier. They worked on him and worked on him. And he made the big play.
And he made maybe the biggest play of their season because he's the guy who caught the Hail Mary against San Francisco. That was certainly the biggest play of the 49er season as it turned out. Johnson kicks it to the 4. McAfee brings it back to the 17. And the situation now with 2:32 left is 2 timeouts remaining for New Orleans, plus 1 at the 2-minute warning, as McAfee is slow in getting up.
And pushing, shoving, talking, all starting to take place down on the field. But what's needed by the 11 guys in the black jerseys now is concentration and execution.
Lots of time.
Crunch time.
They have the 2-minute warning to work with. They have the 2 timeouts. And they have a quarterback that can get it done in Bobby Hebert.
The question here is defensively, are the Falcons going to gamble and come with a blitz or sit back and play a softer zone?
Only a 3-man front this time. Carroll comes to the left side. Atlanta rushes 3. And Hebert throws to Quinn early. He makes the catch. He's up to the 24-yard line. It'll be 2nd down and 3.
No huddle.
2:13, 2:12, and counting down. It's 2nd and 3.
Oh, yeah.
Flag down over the middle.
This will come back.
Turner, he gets to the 40.
That won't count, guys. That was motion against the Saints.
Against Eric Martin.
Yeah. You saw him bend his knees and act like he was going to take off early. This is going to go against the Saints.
It'll make it 2nd and 8 back at the 19.
Here is Eric Martin right here. Watch his
illegal
knees.
motion, offense, 5-yard penalty.
There it was.
2nd down.
And the flag comes right out. That is a good call, and the receivers just have to look at the ball. They can't lose their concentration like that, and that is just a colossal penalty against the Saints. They were moving their way upfield, and now they really have got a long way to go. They're clear back inside the 20.
2nd and 8 at the 19. Again, 2:03 left. The clock will stop at the end of this play for the 2-minute warning. And the Saints will have 2 timeouts remaining. And 81 yards to negotiate. Hebert going deep and incomplete. Intended for Wesley Carroll, and he was covered by Deion Sanders, and it will be 3rd down and 8 as we have come to the 2-minute warning. Officially at 1:57. And the Falcons that far away from advancing to the next round of the playoffs.
Again, good coverage by Sanders. No place for error there to put it.
Hey, sports fans, get a ticket to Bud Bowl 4, and you could win $1 million cash.
$1 million bucks?
But you can't get that ticket just anywhere.
Bud Bowl tickets? Huh? Bud Bowl tickets. Sorry. Bud Bowl tickets?
Bud Bowl.
Bud Bowl tickets.
Think of your ticket where you buy Budweiser, Bud Light, and Bud Dry Draft beer. And you just might be a winner.
Hey, guys, is this the line for... You know, it's not that important. Never mind.
Bud Bowl 4s. This time it's for $1 million.
It has a breathtaking shape. It has new overhead cam power and standard anti-lock brakes. Introducing the all-new Pontiac Grand Am. Excitement with purpose.
1:57 left. 3rd down and 8. The Superdome in New Orleans, which has been mostly noisy, is now very quiet. Atlanta on top 27-20. The Saints have 2 timeouts remaining. They have the ball at their own 19-yard line. And now down and distance become important too. They have to convert. It's 3rd down and 8. They clearly would go for it on 4th down. It would behoove them to pick up the first here.
Yes, it would behoove them. And they don't have to do it with a 35-yard pass either.
And Atlanta is out there with their prevents, 6 defensive backs. And so frequently the Saints have Look to number 84, Eric Martin, their leading receiver. He works well underneath in a crossing pattern. Runs well with the ball when he catches it.
They just can't lose sight of the fact that 8 yards is what they need.
3rd and 8 from the 19. Hebert pumps, throws. Martin makes the catch, and his forward progress nets him the first down. Up at the 28-yard line. A first down for the Saints.
And that's the problem when you come with a 3-man rush. Bobby Hebert had time to come off his primary guy, step up, and throw it.
And he did it well.
Hebert over the middle. The catch is made by Martin. He gets popped again up at the 38-yard line. The Saints conserving their timeouts, and the clock is stopped here. Eaton shaken up.
That's like 2 heavyweights.
Well, that was Eaton. Remember, that was Eaton that came in and put the hit before.
Take a look at those eyes. They're dilated.
And New Orleans has used a timeout here.
That's the old what goes around comes around. We just had Eaton on the last possession coming up and delivering a big shot that dislodged the football. This time Martin holds on, and it is the hittee that ends up...
Martin wins this one.
Yes, he does. In more ways than one. He held on to the football and got the completion and the first down.
You know, it's a funny thing there. The Saints were a little hasty in using that timeout. Had they waited another couple of seconds, this would have been an injury timeout. They would have stopped the clock because Eaton was hurt and needed assistance, and they wasted a timeout there.
You're right, Al, and of course...
Well, it could have been why they drug Tracy Eaton off the carpet, too. Got him on his feet. Maybe they might have squeezed some more seconds out of the clock before they would have had to call it.
And you really can't blame Bobby Hebert because he's 20 yards back downfield, and there's no way that he can see that Eaton is in that kind of shape. So really, it was just a bad set of circumstances for the Saints.
One timeout left. They're at the 39. They have to go 61 yards. 1:28 left.
Atlanta can give up an awful lot. They won't give up anything big.
3-man rush. Hebert will run out of bounds near the first down marker. He's a little short of it. He's out at about the 48. 2nd and 1.
But there's still time here for New Orleans. The key for them now is just to think that we've got to get it all at once. They have time to do it 10 yards at a time. Although it sure would be nice, I'm sure, in Bobby Hebert's mind right now, thinking I'd sure love to have more than just one timeout.
You know what happens when you get into this kind of a defense? You start to take away the sidelines, and it leaves a huge opening over the middle, and you can get big, major yardage over the middle.
Another plus for New Orleans is they get to do a drill like this at home. Hebert is able to audible. This would be impossible if they're playing a road game.
2nd and 1. This is a 2-man rush. 9 guys drop back, and the pass is incomplete. Intended for Floyd Turner. 3rd and 1.
And I think Hebert was premature in throwing that ball. Not only was it a 2-man rush, neither one of them left the line of scrimmage.
I think they almost are going to have to take it down the middle and get them into some kind of range where they can think end zone. And they can get that with this kind of a prevent defense. You notice how they take away the sidelines. They do that to keep not only the receiver from catching the ball, but from going out of bounds and stopping the clock.
3rd and 1. Falcons up by 7. 1:16 remaining. Again, Atlanta rushes just 2. And Hebert throws. The catch is made by Martin, and he's out of bounds with a first down at the 36-yard line.
This is getting interesting, isn't it? What a perfectly thrown ball by Bobby Hebert, and complemented by just a perfect 100 catch by Eric Martin. I mean, look at the quality of the throw, look at the quality of the catch, and then the quality of the brain work that gets Martin over to the sidelines with an assist from Scott Case, throwing him out of bounds.
That's a hard pass to throw. He's coming directly across the field, and it was perfect.
That's why both these teams are in the playoffs.
Forget it, Mitch. Roll it.
1st and 10 at the 35-yard line. 1:10 remaining.
Must have moved this game to the airport.
Hebert throws, and it's picked picked off at the 30-yard line by Tim McKyer. And McKyer's going to gamble by flipping it to Sanders. They should just fall down.
That's not very smart.
No, but they live on the edge, and they keep living on the edge, and they're going to go to the playoffs on the edge. Are they for real? This is Joe Fishback for a touchdown.
Well, on two of the stupidest plays I have seen on a long time. I don't mean to be critical, but all you got to do is fall on the ball and the game is over. They take two chances like that and end up scoring a touchdown. Amazing.
Glanville loves that. There will be no criticism of what they did by Glanville.
But that's not smart, guys. That's not smart. But the Falcons win the ball game.
Maybe that's why they're here, too.
You know what? Maybe it is.
That last lateral looked to me as if it might have been a forward lateral.
Take a look at it again. It was certainly close to it. McKyer picks it off. Remember, he did this 2 weeks ago in Seattle. He lateraled to Deion Sanders. Sanders took it in for a touchdown. Now, that definitely is a lateral. Here's Sanders. Again, great speed.
But all you got to do is fall down. The game's over.
Oh, I know, but they don't think that way. And it comes right down from the top. Jerry Glanville. Now, let's take a look and see if this could have been a forward lateral. It's real close.
Watch his feet. Where are his feet going to be?
That's not bad running, though, is it?
He's just outside the 40. That appears to be a forward lateral.
That's a forward lateral.
They could bring it back. It is a reviewable play. It really doesn't matter, though. The only thing that would matter would be the final score.
No.
They can run the clock out, even if they bring it back.
What a wild play to determine this football game.
I don't think there's any doubt that this was a forward lateral. Deion was at the 40 or behind it when he had the ball leave his hand.
Well, it ends with a footnote. The key thing here is that the Atlanta Falcons are going to win the game. They are going to Washington. The Saints still have not won a postseason game. This guy is thought by many to be crazy. Not her, but Jerry Glanville, the man we just dissolved away from and now back to. But here's a guy, and coaches come in all shapes and sizes and forms. There are the Knowles and the Schulers and the Landrys and the Parcells and the Walters and the rest.
Review, we've got an illegal forward pass, which is a 5-yard penalty on a receiving team.
But the fact of the matter is Glanville has now taken his teams to the playoffs in 4 of the last 5 seasons.
He's a winner.
You know, Al, they played Washington early in the year, and they got beat 56-17.
Well, and one thing here, the guy we got to give credit to, because we kind of got caught up in everything that happened, when the big play had to be made, there was Tim McKyer. Tim McKyer, as he's been doing all year, has come up with big play after big play. He talks a big game, and most of the time he plays a big game. And that time, Bobby Hebert really threw the ball right to McKyer, but he didn't drop it.
Again, to quote Glanville, and we said it at the very beginning, and our theme has been they play on the edge. Jerry said yesterday, we make people nervous, including themselves.
Well, I think
including their front office and their fans on a play like the last one.
It's almost a certainty, I think, that we will be in Atlanta next year. It's hard for me to imagine them not being a part of the old Monday night effort next year.
Saints can stop the clock once more, and they have just done it. And now just one more play, and barring a Pisarcik Herman Edwards scenario, this one is over, and the Falcons go to Washington.
Of course, Dan Al was already checking out the hotel registry there in Atlanta.
I got his book.
You got his book, Tar. You know, this is our final pro game of the season, and as Jerry Glanville congratulates all his Falcon players, I just want to say, no offense to our friends at NBC, CBS, and ESPN, we finish up another professional season working with the best technical crew in professional football, the best camera, tape, tech people downstairs. Guys, thank you very much. You're the best. Guys and girls.
What a fun year it's been. It's been a great year. Yeah. We've had some super games, some incredible finishes. We've had some blowouts that all go with this game, but what a wild one to wind up our 1990 season. Only one season.
And on a kneel down, this one is over. So the Saints' season is over. New Orleans wins the West, but they go home, or they stay home as it is, after another postseason defeat.
Yeah,
Jerry Glanville continues on with the wild card Atlanta Falcons.
What a disappointment for New Orleans. They started back in July, and now it's all over.
Falcons win it 27-20. Let's go to Tim Brandt. Tim?
All right, I'm with Coach Glanville right now. Jerry, you said you live on the edge, you play on the edge. Boy, you guys did that.
Well, it was great. Michael Haynes had the fastest touchdown I've ever seen. He just did a great job. He deserves all the credit. Go interview Mike Haynes. He was fantastic.
All right, congratulations. Good luck in Washington.
Great Saints team. I got to love their fans. They got the best fans I've ever seen in a closed stadium. Next year, we hope to have that same advantage.
All right, Jerry. Back upstairs to you guys. I'm going to try to grab Mike Haynes.
All right, there he is, Michael Haynes, and what a day for him. Not only one of the big heroes for the Falcons, but to do it.
Which is short.